Love go little say ku 3 days later, Night Sorrow arrived at the eastern snow mountain. Looking at the sky, Night Sorrow didn't continue climbing. Instead, he set up a shack and stayed there. He planned to continue climbing the mountain the next day. After feeding Tianyu a beast origin pill, Night Sorrow opened a jar of wine to drink. Suddenly, a figure appeared. It was Wu Lingfei, wearing a pure white dress and a white veil. She held a white long sword in her hand. Senior. Night Sorrow stood up and cupped his hands in greeting. Your cultivation has increased very quickly. But what are you doing here? If this place had a Heaven's Mandate stone, I wouldn't have needed you to search for it, said Wu Lingfei coldly as she looked at Night Sorrow. Junior has come to fulfill the promise. Does Senior's promise still count? Yi Shang asked. You came as promised. You mean to say that you have the Heaven's Mandate stone? Wu Lingfei's voice unconsciously rose a lot. Yes, it's in this box. But I want to know if Senior's promise still counts. Night Sorrow took out the jade box and looked at the white-clothed woman. The spirit tool is naturally yours, said Wu Lingfei as she looked at the box in Night Sorrow's hand. Not this. I'm talking about borrowing it for free, said Night Sorrow. Of course, I'm a woman of my word. If I say I'm borrowing it for free, then I'm borrowing it for free. Wu Lingfei nodded. How long? Asked Night Sorrow again. 3 months at the shortest, and half a year at the longest, said Wu Lingfei after thinking for a moment. Okay. Night Sorrow stepped forward and handed the jade box to Wu Lingfei. After Wu Lingfei opened the jade box, her eyes were attracted to the Heaven's Mandate stone. After a while, she closed the box. You're a woman of your word, and so am I. Do you plan to go back now and come back later? Asked Wu Lingfei after closing the jade box. She looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I'm not going back. I'll wait here for Senior to finish using it. Night Sorrow said. He had already made this decision. After all, going back and forth would take too long, and he couldn't afford it. Then go to my Qianren Peak. I'll go into seclusion, and you can cultivate there. Although it's cold there, with your body's strength, you should be able to withstand it. You can treat it as a trial, said Wu Lingfei. Night Sorrow nodded. He thought that was fine. After Night Sorrow nodded, Wu Lingfei waved her sleeve. Energy appeared and wrapped around Night Sorrow and Tianyu. Then Night Sorrow felt dizzy, and the scenery in the night changed. After a while, the energy around Night Sorrow dissipated, and Tianyu could move. Under the cover of the night, Yi Shang observed his surroundings. They were at the bottom of a mountain. Behind Night Sorrow and Wu Lingfei was a cliff, which was also the peak of the mountain. They were at a platform below the peak. There's a cave there. You can rest and cultivate there. If there's nothing important, don't disturb me. After Wu Lingfei finished speaking, she waved her arm and a jade box appeared. She sat cross-legged on it and opened the jade box, holding the water element Heaven's Mandate stone in her hand. As Wu Lingfei cultivated, an extremely cold energy appeared on her body, and she instantly froze herself. Strong. Night Sorrow couldn't help but admire Wu Lingfei's strength. She directly condensed her energy into ice and froze herself. How heaven-defying was that? Night Sorrow had Tianyu rest while he entered the cave. The cave was very tidy. It seemed this was where Wu Lingfei lived. Thinking about it, Night Sorrow felt it wasn't suitable, so he went to the cave and began to meditate. Night Sorrow felt this place was pretty good. The extremely cold energy was very strong, and he could use this pressure to temper his true qi and the myriad Dao Tome's energy. Currently, Night Sorrow's myriad Dao Tome had reached the 7th level of the bone-forging realm. He had begun to strengthen his shoulder bones, collarbone, and bone marrow. Once he finished strengthening them, he could enter the 8th level of the bone-forging realm. The 8th level of the bone forging realm strengthened his neck and bone marrow. Once he succeeded, he would enter the 9th level of the bone forging realm. Once his skull and bone marrow were strengthened, he would enter the 4th stage of the myriad Tao tome, the unity realm. Cultivating in the biting cold wind was a kind of torture for Night Sorrow, but the true chi and energy he cultivated was very pure. In terms of perseverance, Night Sorrow had it. When he was thirsty, he would drink a few mouthfuls of wine. When his body needed nourishment, he would eat fasting pills and continue to cultivate. Night Sorrow diligently cultivated, and his cultivation base quickly rose. After all, he was using the Source Spirit Elixir and the Flood Dragon Bone Forging Pill. Time passed quickly, and in the blink of an eye, over a month had passed. Other than feeding Tianyu Beast Essence pills, Night Sorrow didn't get up to come over. Tianyu was already used to this place. He would often go out to hunt demon beasts. The eastern snow mountain had ice flood dragons, and the ice flood dragon's gallbladder was a great supplement for them. Chapter 301. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little. Here's a wonderful novel for you to read. After looking at the origin stone for a while, Wu Lingfei turned to Night Sorrow and said, I need to go into seclusion again. The mysteries of this origin stone are truly difficult to comprehend. Love go little say Webku, don't worry. Night Sorrow nodded. You know how to use the power of extreme cold to temper your cultivation. Not bad. Wu Lingfei took out a jar of wine and took a sip from her veil. Later. I plan to go to the Ice Plain Sea to look for Ice Spirit Blood Essence, Night Sorrow said. That's good. Ice Spirit Blood Essence contains a very strong blood essence. You might not be able to absorb it right now. Wait until your body is a bit stronger, then you'll be able to use it, Wu Lingfei said. Then I'll go later. Night Sorrow nodded. He understood that the Ice Spirit Blood Essence was very useful. Oh, dollar, if you can, bring me a few more pieces. Wu Lingfei turned around and took another sip of wine before speaking. Sure. I don't understand one thing. Senior also cultivates a special cultivation method. Your body is very strong, so your blood essence should also be very strong. Can you get more Ice Spirit Blood Essence if you go to the Ice Plain Sea? Night Sorrow asked. No, I have the ice attribute of the water attribute. My body is strong, but my blood essence is not enough, so I can't draw out the Ice Spirit Blood Essence. Wu Lingfei shook her head. Night Sorrow knew that attributes were very important. He also planned to study his own attributes. During this period of time in the extreme cold, it was not suitable for him to activate his attributes, so he didn't touch this area. What is your attribute? While Night Sorrow was thinking, Wu Lingfei asked. This was a very important aspect for cultivators. If one's attribute was strong, then one's combat power would be strong. I don't know. I came here as soon as I reached rank 4. The extreme cold is not suitable for activating my attributes, so I plan to wait, Night Sorrow said. Don't worry, it won't take long. Enter the cave and I'll help you activate it. Wu Lingfei was very interested in Night Sorrow's attributes. Night Sorrow followed Wu Lingfei into the cave. After entering the cave, Wu Lingfei waved her hand and sealed the entrance with ice. Wu Lingfei stood at the entrance of the cave and said, the extreme cold here is still very strong, but it won't suppress the other elements. Focus and feel the elemental powers in the air. Absorb whatever you think you can absorb, and then punch me with all your strength. Baidu search AI go female sign shao say www.aichuxs. Calm Night Sorrow nodded and began to meditate to sense the elements in the space. As he focused his mind, Night Sorrow realized that he was surrounded by white dots of light. These white dots of light were mixed with small amounts of yellow, blue, green, red, light purple, milky white, light black, green, dark black, gray, and dark gray dots of light. Carefully sensing, Night Sorrow also discovered a type of dark purple bubble and a type of trembling stripe. These two types were hidden in these spots of light. Night Sorrow understood that these spots of light were elemental powers. The first 7 were the ordinary earth, water, wind, fire, lightning, light, and darkness. Then there was the green life, the dark black death, the gray space, the light gray time, and the faint purple gas and trembling stripe. He wasn't sure, but he suspected that they were void and destruction. Sensing this, Night Sorrow opened his mind and body to absorb. As Night Sorrow absorbed, these spots of light didn't move. Only the dark purple gas entered Night Sorrow's body. Standing up, Night Sorrow punched at Wu Lingfei. It was just an ordinary punch, a punch of the rank 4 cultivation. Pang! With a muffled sound, Night Sorrow retreated a few steps. Wu Lingfei didn't move, but her eyes were full of shock. What a tribute! Night Sorrow felt that his chi had changed, but Night Sorrow couldn't tell what it was. Continue absorbing elemental powers and punch again, Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded and sat down cross-legged, continuing to absorb the attribute of the dark purple bubble. After a while, he stood up and punched at Wu Lingfei again. After another collision, Night Sorrow was forced back. Void attribute. It really is the void attribute. Night Sorrow, you're very lucky to be able to comprehend a peak attribute like this. The most fortunate thing is that you met me today. If it were someone from another realm, you'd be dead by now, Wu Lingfei said. Night Sorrow's expression changed. He knew what the void attribute meant. It was one of the peak attributes. That won't do. If we fight, you'll be exposed, Wu Lingfei said with a frown. I can use profound jade spirit chi. Night Sorrow waved his hand and sent out a palm filled with cold chi. This is a way to hide your own attribute. I didn't think of that. Your profound jade hands is quite good. Wu Lingfei nodded after seeing Night Sorrow's palm. Night Sorrow nodded. In order to cultivate the profound jade hands, he had suffered a lot. Remember, as long as you use the void attribute in a fight, you must kill your opponent. Otherwise, it'll be troublesome. Wu Lingfei reminded Night Sorrow. I don't see how strong the void attribute is. Night Sorrow still had some doubts. Then let me ask you. Did you get attacked by the cold chi just now? You didn't, right? In addition, your fist of the first rank of the 4th step has melted twice as much of my Jin Chi as yours. Think about the pros and cons of this. Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and said. She knew that Night Sorrow had just comprehended the attribute and didn't know the power of a peak attribute. Then I'll take my time to study it. Night Sorrow nodded, feeling very happy. Then I'll continue my seclusion. I estimate it'll take another 2 or 3 months. It won't delay your return. Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. She waved her hand and broke the ice at the entrance of the cave. Then she took out an origin stone and continued to cultivate. Night Sorrow sat down at the entrance of the cave and continued to cultivate. As he cultivated, he began to absorb the void attribute. As he circulated his true energy to cultivate, Night Sorrow noticed something shocking. The heavenly fate pearl in his Dantian region was moving. It was spinning, and was emitting a power that was far, far purer than the power he had absorbed on his own. After a while, Night Sorrow's chi was filled with the void attribute. Even so, the void fate pearl was still rotating and pouring attributes into Night Sorrow's Dantian. Night Sorrow tried to pour his chi into the void fate pearl. After pouring it in, Night Sorrow's chi was absorbed by the void fate pearl. However, there was no reaction. Seeing that the void fate pearl was absorbing his chi, but there was no reaction, Night Sorrow continued to pour his chi into the void fate pearl. Night Sorrow used his origin spiritual liquid to recover his chi. Then he continued to pour his chi into the Void Fate Pearl. As long as the Void Fate Pearl could absorb it, he would continue to pour it in. After 7 days, Night Sorrow stopped using the origin spiritual liquid and began to recover his chi. He knew that he had been using the origin spiritual liquid for a long time. His chi was weak, and there was no point in assimilating it. After recovering his cultivation base, Yishang continued to channel his true chi into the Heavenly Fate Pearl. Chapter 302. Genius 1 Second. Remember Love Go/Little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow had originally planned to go down East Snow Mountain and search for Ice Spirit Blood Essence in the Ice Plain Sea. But now, he no longer had such thoughts. He wanted to fight to the death with the Void Fate Pearl. As long as it did not affect his cultivation, there was nothing to worry about. This time, Night Sorrow did not calculate the time. He poured his true chi into the Void Fate Pearl. Once his true chi was exhausted, he would sit down and recover before pouring more true chi. Time passed very quickly. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. Night Sorrow did not stand up once. When Tianyu returned, Night Sorrow threw a beast pill to Tianyu and continued to fight with the Void Fate Pearl. When Yishang was about to run out of true energy again, the voidless fate bead stopped absorbing true energy. Instead, it began to spin around Yishang's dantian. At the same time, Yishang felt a special connection between him and the voidless fate bead. It was an inexplicable connection. Looking at the frozen Wuling Fei, Night Sorrow began to cultivate on the platform. He cultivated his spear arts, fist arts, and movement arts. After cultivating for a while, Night Sorrow discovered that his true chi had a color. It was a very beautiful purple. The color was a little dazzling. Night Sorrow circulated the profound jade spirit chi in his hands to cover up the void attribute. After cultivating for a day, seeing Tianyu return, Night Sorrow wanted to move. Night Sorrow rode Tianyu and flew towards the ice plain sea. He planned to cultivate while moving and collect some ice spirit blood essence. After arriving at the ice plain sea, Night Sorrow got off Tianyu's back. He circulated the myriad Dao Tome's energy and began to run across the ice plain sea while cultivating. As he ran, Night Sorrow pondered. Since he had comprehended the attributes, he could study the protective chi. Currently, he had the energy of the myriad Dao's tome to protect his body. However, it was still good to have an additional layer of protective chi. While running, Night Sorrow's Dantian Shin Chi burst out and formed a protective Jin Chi shield around his body. Without the Jin Chi in his hands, his protective Jin Chi was light purple. Next, Night Sorrow used his profound jade spirit energy to change the protective Jin Chi into a white, ice-attributed Jin Chi. Night Sorrow tried to switch back and forth to train. The Chi shield could increase one's defense. It was very important for a cultivator as it could block the damage from the harsh environment. After advancing for a day, Night Sorrow collected a piece of ice spirit blood essence. He did not stop and continued to run across the icy sea. Tianyu followed right above his head. _forever TQ long time free Wi-Fi #C small say, X after running for 10 days, Night Sorrow took a detour. After being hundreds of miles away from the original path, he continued to run back. 20 days later, he returned to the East Snow Mountain. Not only did he collect 13 pieces of ice spirit blood essence, but he also cultivated his Jin Chi to the peak of the spirit severing stage. The progress of the myriad Dao's tome was also very fast. At the foot of the East Snow Mountain, Night Sorrow rode Tianyu back to the Qianren Peak. At the same place, Night Sorrow saw Wu Lingfei breaking out of the ice. I thought you didn't want the origin stone and ran away. Wu Lingfei put the origin stone into a jade box and handed it to Night Sorrow. Have you comprehended the mystery? Night Sorrow took back the water attribute origin stone and asked. He had noticed that Wu Lingfei was holding the origin stone. It was not damaged and the energy was very rich, just like before. How can it be that easy? I just comprehended it. I will slowly understand it in the future. Now, let's talk about the spirit tools. I killed some venerables in the early years and collected some spirit tools. What kind of spirit tools do you need? Wu Lingfei asked. I only know spear arts and I won't change, so I only use spear arts. Night Sorrow said. He would not give up on spear arts cultivation. Baidu search AI Go Xiao Shua www.aichux.com. I don't have a spirit tool spear, so I'll give you a defensive spirit tool. However, you can't use its power at the moment. Give me your hand and I will help you refine it. Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow stretched out his hand. Wu Lingfei waved her left hand and energy streaked across the back of Night Sorrow's hand, taking away a stream of blood. A white vest appeared on her right hand. Wu Lingfei poured Night Sorrow's blood into the vest. Then, energy appeared on her hands and covered the vest. After half a cup of tea's time, Night Sorrow had a special feeling in his heart. He felt that the vest had a connection with him. You should be able to feel it. From now on, wear it close to your body. Although you are weak, this ice silk soft garment can help you block an all-out attack from an opponent one level higher than you. If you enter the 5th level, then even a venerable won't be able to heavily injure you in one move. I originally wanted to give you a low-grade spirit weapon, but I don't have any spears, so I can only let you have it. Wu Lingfei handed the ice silk soft garment to Yishan. Thank you, Senior. Yishan took the soft ice silk clothing, put it away, and bowed. You've helped me twice. A long time ago, I was injured, and my chi and blood were unable to recover. I knew that the ice plane sea had ice spirit blood essence, but I couldn't get it. There were no ice spirit wells near the ice snow mountain, so I could only rely on the east snow mountain's extreme cold to nourish my body. You came and helped me solve this problem. Also, you brought the source stone. You'll know its use later, Wu Lingfei said. Senior, you are the top fighting force of the Eastern Xian region. If there is a region war, you will have to contribute. As someone from the Eastern Xian region, I will naturally contribute to the Eastern Xian region. Even if I don't have a spirit weapon, I will still fulfill my promise, said Yishan. I can understand your intentions. I won't stay in the East Snow Mountain for long in the future. If you have any problems in the Eastern Xian region, just crush the spirit pearl and I will rush over as soon as possible. Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. Junior understands. As for the origin stone, it's not that I'm stingy, but that I have other uses. Here is another type of origin stone. If Senior needs it, I can lend it to you for a few years. Night Sorrow took out the fire origin stone. After taking the fire origin stone and looking at it, Wu Lingfei put it back into the jade box and returned it to Night Sorrow. This is not compatible with my attribute. Studying it will increase my fighting strength, but it's better to focus on comprehending the law of water. Remember, a man's wealth is his own ruin. These are all life-threatening things. Senior, do you still need the ice spirit blood essence? Night Sorrow asked. You have extra. Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I went to look for it a few days ago and got some. Night Sorrow took out 6 or 7 pieces and put them in front of him. You are really amazing. I can't help but admire you. I reckon that you will need this to help you cultivate soon. I'll take 2 pieces. It's easy for you to find them, but it's harder for me to find them. A naturally erupting ice spirit well is no different from looking for a needle in a haystack. Wu Lingfei said with a sigh after taking the 2 pieces. I'll look for some more on my way out. Senior, please keep them. Night Sorrow bent down and picked up the ice spirit blood essence and handed it to Wu Lingfei. Chapter 303. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/small. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Tianji Tower, Senior is from Tianji Tower. Night Sorrow was shocked. He didn't expect Tianji Tower to be so strong. Even the unfathomable Wu Lingfei was related to Tianji Tower. Is there a problem? Wu Lingfei frowned at Night Sorrow. Clearly, his words had touched her. No problem, Junior also knows a few people from Tianji Tower. Night Sorrow said. Yes, of course. You're so outstanding. If they couldn't find you, then they must be blind. Alright, I'll take you down East Snow Mountain, then you can go back early. Wu Lingfei waved her arm and wrapped Night Sorrow and Tianyu, then flew down East Snow Mountain. Tianyu needed to fly for a while, but with Wu Lingfei's help, it only took a few breaths. Most of the chapters in Chapter 5 section above 3. After reaching the foot of East Snow Mountain, Wu Lingfei released the energy control and released Night Sorrow and Tianyu. This is my token. Take it, it might be useful. Go back early. Tossing the token to Yishan, Wu Lingfei's figure flashed as she disappeared into the vast expanse of white ice. Seeing Wu Lingfei leave, Night Sorrow took out the ice silk soft clothes from his storage ring and looked at it carefully. The ice silkworm soft garment was a close-fitting soft garment in the shape of a small vest. Touching the soft garment, Yishang felt as if it was connected to his flesh and blood. Yishang knew that this was because it had recognized him as its master. Normally, Night Sorrow couldn't recognize a spirit tool as its master with his 4th stage cultivation. It was Wu Lingfei who used her high cultivation to force the ice silk soft clothes to recognize him as its master. After putting on the ice silk soft clothes, Night Sorrow looked at Wu Lingfei's token. It was a white jade pendant with the word Wu engraved on it. After putting away the token, Night Sorrow began to run forward. Although he had accumulated some ice spirit blood essence, it would be better if he could get some when he went out. In the headquarters of Dongxian City's Tianji Tower, Yin Shui and Ho Yuan were drinking tea. The 2 old fogies from the Scarlet Cloud sect should be scared now. If they don't withdraw the kill order, I'll go there again, Ho Yuan said as he sipped his tea. It's not up to them not to be afraid. If they dare to not be afraid, then we'll teach them a lesson until they're afraid. Yin Shui said with a smile. While the 2 of them were talking, Lei Hua came in, followed by Jiao Qing. Lei Hua threw a letter on the table. You 2, take a look. If there's no problem, we'll report it. Yin Shui picked up the letter and read it before passing it to Ho Yuan. What is this guy doing? Why is he so troublesome? Ho Yuan said after reading the letter. When Supervisor Lan left, she said that if Night Sorrow enters the 4th stage within 2 years, we'll report it. Since Night Sorrow has broken through, we'll report it, Yin Shui said. Night Sorrow's matter was the responsibility of the Tianji Tower's Law Protector team. It was his subordinate's matter, so he was very happy about it. Then we have nothing to study. We'll report it directly, aha. If he passes the inspection, he'll be a 4-star in the heaven rank trial, Lei Hua said happily. Looks like we'll have to supervise Ho Jian and Nan Liyue. They've been left behind, Ho Yuan said. It's not that Ho Jian and Nan Liyue are inferior. Night Sorrow's rise is too fast and too dazzling. In addition, Lei Bao and Lei Zheng from the Thunder Rumbling sect have entered the 4th stage, Su Wang from the Golden Flame sect has entered the 4th stage, and Ho Yuan's junior, Ho Qingjie. All of them can enter the Black Watch. The problem is whether they have the qualifications to start the heaven rank trial, Lei Hua said as he sat down. Su Wang, Lei Zheng, and Ho Qingjie are all very outstanding. Just give them a black eye and recruit them directly. Lei Bao is not bad. I think we should start the Heaven's Fate assessment, Ho Yuan said. At this time, he was extremely fair. Elder Ho is right. Lei Zheng and Ho Qingjie are stronger than Su Wang, but it's enough to recruit them directly. Lei Bao can be given a chance. Yin Shua agreed with Ho Yuan's point of view. Then it's decided. Organize the information and report it directly. Also, observe Su Mu from the Golden Flame sect. He's very talented, Lei Hu decided. Night Sorrow ran across the ice plains every day. If he was lucky, he would be able to collect ice spirit blood essences. 6 days later, Night Sorrow left the Far East ice plains. He had collected 5 more ice spirit blood essences. Now, he had close to 20 ice spirit blood essences in his storage ring. After leaving the Far East ice plains, Night Sorrow got on Tianyu's back and flew towards the Medicine Valley. If there was nothing urgent, Night Sorrow would travel during the day and rest during the night. While traveling, he would also raise his cultivation base. Night Sorrow was already at the 2nd level of the spirit severing stage. However, his cultivation of the Myriad Dao treasured tome was a little slow. After all, the origin spirit liquid was still a little lacking in terms of cultivation of the body. What made Night Sorrow the happiest was that the Void Fate Pearl was constantly releasing a purple void attribute, transforming Night Sorrow's true chi. When resting at night, Night Sorrow would often be attacked by demonic beasts. However, Night Sorrow didn't need to deal with them. Tianyu would directly kill them. Day after day passed. Night Sorrow was getting closer and closer to the Medicine Valley. While flying, he would also be attacked by flying demonic beasts. However, Night Sorrow and Tianyu were now extremely strong. If they didn't open their eyes, they would be killed. 2 months later, Night Sorrow returned to Danding City and directly went to the Dragon Spring Courtyard. After returning to the Dragon Spring Courtyard, Night Sorrow didn't see Yang Lei. However, he knew that the Red Cloud sect and the Golden Flame sect had joined forces to attack the Medicine Valley. They didn't send out any venerables. They were all below the 5th level. Of course, the Medicine Valley didn't hold back. They directly organized people to fight back. The O family also sent out disciples to participate in the battle. Now, the battle was very intense. How could this be? Night Sorrow asked, somewhat puzzled. You killed the Red Cloud sect too miserably in the alternate space. Therefore, they hit it off with the Golden Flame sect and want to attack the Medicine Valley. Aoi, who was staying in the Dragon Spring Courtyard, said. Why is it my business again? Night Sorrow was somewhat speechless. He really didn't want to cause trouble for the Medicine Valley. However, trouble came again. This is called the tree wants to be quiet, but the wind won't stop. You hurt the Red Cloud sect, and the Golden Flame sect is cheap. What can you do? Sikong Chuyu said. Since they're here, then let's kill them. Night Sorrow was somewhat angry. The matter in the alternate space was solved in the alternate space. What kind of ability was it to come out and settle accounts? You don't have to worry. It's currently a mess. The Southern Dipper sect and the Walkabout sect have attacked the Red Cloud sect. The Holy Light sect and the Thunder Rumbling sect are also fighting. It's said that the Thunder Rumbling sect's disciples killed many of the Holy Light sect's disciples. Aoi said. It's really chaotic. The Thunder Rumbling sect's disciples are not bad. They are a bit overbearing, but they are very magnanimous. Night Sorrow said. He had a good impression of Lei Bao and Lei Jing. Among the 7 superpowers of the Eastern Profound Domain, the strongest is the Holy Light sect. However, the most belligerent is the Thunder Rumbling sect. If the Holy Light sect wants to show off in front of the Thunder Rumbling sect, then they've found the wrong place. Aoi explained the situation of the Holy Light sect and the Thunder Rumbling sect to Night Sorrow. This time, it's a chaotic situation. Where did my ninth senior sister go? Night Sorrow asked. She went to Nanyang City. She went there to guard the situation. Senior brother and the others are also there. You don't have to worry. You should rest and accompany Sikong. You haven't seen each other in a long time. Aoi smiled and left. Chapter 304. Geniuses remember love in 1 second. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Did everything go well? Sikong Chiyu asked after entering the main building. Very well. All the problems have been solved. How have you been recently? Night Sorrow asked while holding Sikong Chiyu's hand. $**U only original W version O, P and him. Are all stolen D versions plus, very well. It's just too quiet without you around. Sikong Chiyu looked at Night Sorrow and said. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that with Sikong Chiyu here and Yang Lei not around, it would indeed be lonely. Aoi had to guide the disciples in their cultivation and couldn't accompany him all the time. Night Sorrow and Sikong Chiyu chatted while drinking tea. Night Sorrow hadn't been so relaxed in a long time. After that, the two of them went to the dining room to eat. The dining room was very lively. Yang Lei and Qing Ji's disciples were all here. There were a lot of people here, and it was very noisy. When they saw Night Sorrow, these disciples bowed to him. This wasn't just respect for seniority, but also respect for the strong. In the Medicine Valley, if you didn't know the name Night Sorrow, then you didn't deserve to be a disciple of the Medicine Valley. Not only in Taishan Peak, but in the entire Medicine Valley, Night Sorrow was a model of the sect's disciples. Make yourselves at home. Everyone, sit down and eat. Yishang waved his hand at the group of third-generation disciples. He found a seat and sat down. Sikong Chiyu sat beside him. Night Sorrow came to eat to relieve his emotions and find the feeling. After eating a little, he put down his bowl and chopsticks. 13th Martial Uncle, can you tell us how to cultivate faster? Seeing Night Sorrow put down his bowl and chopsticks, he walked over and asked. Actually, I don't know either. I feel that we have to know what we want first and then work hard to fight for it. Only by fighting for it can we get what we want. Night Sorrow thought for a while and said. 6th Martial Uncle, I don't really understand. He looked at Aoi. Actually, your 13th Martial Uncle's fast cultivation speed is related to his talent. But the most important thing is his hard work. Since he entered the sect, his life has only been cultivation and experience. But this might not be suitable for you. Aoi said. He and the others nodded. They really didn't understand Night Sorrow's rise. After eating, Night Sorrow and Sikong Chiyu went to the Skywater Lake to enjoy the breeze. The silver fox cub also followed behind. It shouldn't be called a cub anymore. It had grown a lot and its cultivation had reached the mid-stage of the second order. It was very close to Night Sorrow. This was something that no one could compare to. Even Aoi, Sikong Chiyu, Hai Luo, and the others who had been taking care of him all this time. Enjoying the night breeze, Night Sorrow's heart was exceptionally peaceful. He hugged Sikong Chiyu and didn't need to say anything. The other party knew what they were thinking. Chiyu, I'll accompany you to the Qingtian region later, okay? Now that the Eastern Xian region is in chaos and the Medicine Valley is in a difficult situation, I have to help. Night Sorrow said. I know, there's no hurry. It's not bad to accompany you in the Eastern Xian region like this. I know that you're going to participate in the war. I'll go with you. If the Sikong clan and Jiyu clan find out that I'm here, we'll run. Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. Night Sorrow nodded. He didn't have many worries now. He didn't need to take a position in Tianji Tower now, but he could also ask for a position himself. If Sikong Chuyu was exposed again, then Night Sorrow could go to Tianji Tower, take a mission, and go to another region to cultivate quietly. As for whether the Jiyu clan and Sikong clan would threaten the Medicine Valley, this problem wouldn't appear. First of all, without a venerable, no one could shake the foundation of the Medicine Valley. Producing a venerable? Tianji Tower wouldn't watch. The night was a little cold. Night Sorrow put his outer robe on Sikong Chuyu. Let's go back and rest. You've been eating and sleeping in the open these days. You need to have a good sleep. Sikong Chuyu said. Night Sorrow nodded and returned to her pavilion with Sikong Chuyu in his arms. Go in and have a cup of hot tea. Sikong Chuyu said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded with a smile. He also wanted to accompany Sikong Chuyu for a while. Staying in the bamboo pavilion, Sikong Chuyu lit a red candle and made a pot of tea. Such a scene has appeared in my mind many times. Night Sorrow said with a smile. It will happen often in the future, but we may need to add a few more chairs. Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. What for? Night Sorrow was stunned and asked. What about ninth senior sister? Also, if you help us find a few more sisters, we'll need more chairs. Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. Chuyu, I'm sorry. I didn't handle these things well. Night Sorrow said apologetically. Don't be like this. I don't mean to blame you. I also like ninth senior sister. Sikong Chuyu held Night Sorrow's hand and said. Night Sorrow nodded. As long as Sikong Chuyu and Yang Lei had a good relationship, he felt at ease. Okay, let's rest. Sikong Chuyu's face was a little red. Then I won't leave. Looking at Sikong Chuyu's beautiful face, Night Sorrow was a little touched. Then Sikong Chuyu took off her skirt and helped Night Sorrow hang up his outer robe. Night Sorrow sat beside Sikong Chuyu and looked at Sikong Chuyu quietly. Chuyu, you're so beautiful. Night Sorrow held Sikong Chuyu's hand and said. You also know how to coax people. Let's rest. Sikong Chuyu's face was very red. Night Sorrow nodded and hugged Sikong Chuyu to lie on the bed. Hugging Sikong Chuyu's delicate body and nose full of Sikong Chuyu's scent, Night Sorrow had a reaction. Night Sorrow, you. Sikong Chuyu, who was leaning on Night Sorrow's arm, felt the change in Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow was a little embarrassed and didn't know how to explain. Night Sorrow, I haven't known you for a long time. I understand you, so I don't blame you. I also want to be your woman and be with you for the rest of my life. Sikong Chuyu's voice was as soft as a mosquito's. I didn't think so, but this happened. Please don't mind. Night Sorrow didn't want to pressure Sikong Chuyu. I don't mind. I understand. Sikong Chuyu looked up at Night Sorrow. She liked this kind of Night Sorrow, who was simple and considerate. Night Sorrow lowered his head and kissed Sikong Chuyu's red lips. At this time, he couldn't control himself anymore. Sikong Chuyu hugged Night Sorrow's neck and passionately kissed him back. The two of them rolled on the bed. As they rolled, their clothes became less and less. After a while, they were naked under the red candles. Sikong Chuyu's body was like white jade. It was a masterpiece given to the human world by God. Noticing Night Sorrow looking at her, Sikong Chuyu pulled the blanket over herself. You can't look at me like that. Go and blow out the light. Night Sorrow nodded and got up to extinguish the red candles. Then, he returned to the bedside. Sikong Chuyu reached out and held Night Sorrow's hand. Night Sorrow returned to the bed and covered Night Sorrow with the blanket. Chapter 305. A genius remembers love in 1 second. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow, I'm here. Sikong Chuyu moved the quilt and hugged Yishan. Yishan looked at Sikong Chuyu. Sikong Chuyu looked at Yishan and hugged him. Night Sorrow couldn't think of anything else at this moment. He hugged Sikong Chuyu and gently placed him on the bed. Then, he gently pressed down on Sikong Chuyu's delicate body. Soft moans and gasps echoed in the bamboo building. The moment the golden phoenix and the jade dew met, it was better than countless things in the world. After a long time, the storm gradually subsided. Yishang tightly hugged Sikong Chuyu. Yishang, we're together. Leaning on Yishang's shoulder, Sikong Chuyu's voice was still a little breathless. Yes. Night Sorrow said in a low voice, we're together now. Chuyu, when I go to the realm of Qingtian, I'll propose marriage. I won't let you follow me around like this. Sikong Chuyu leaned on Night Sorrow's shoulder and said, I don't care about that, as long as we're together. I'm willing to win the heart of one of us and stay together forever. I'll keep that in mind, Night Sorrow said as he stroked Sikong Chuyu's hair. The two of them hugged each other and chatted casually. It was inevitable that their passion would ignite again. The two of them woke up early in the morning. When Night Sorrow woke up, Sikong Chuyu tidied up the bed sheets because there were plum blossoms blooming on them. Noticing Night Sorrow's gaze, Sikong Chuyu felt a little embarrassed. Don't look. Night Sorrow smiled and went to wash up. He was very happy that he had a woman he liked. Now, he just had to work hard to increase his cultivation. When they were having breakfast together, Aoi smiled at the two of them. Congratulations. Sixth senior sister. Sikong Chuyu blushed. She knew she couldn't hide such a thing. All right, let's eat. 13. You have to treat Chuyu well in the future. Otherwise, sixth senior sister won't forgive you. Aoi glanced at Night Sorrow and said. Sikong Chuyu's transformation from a girl to a woman couldn't be hidden from her. Love go little Seiko. After eating something, Night Sorrow chatted with Sikong Chuyu in the garden of the other courtyard. He was not in a hurry to cultivate, so he didn't mind spending one more day. Night Sorrow, you've already split your soul by 2 levels. Have you cultivated your elemental and protective chi? Sikong Chuyu asked. I've cultivated it, but there's a small problem. Night Sorrow told him about his nihility attribute. You can't tell anyone about this. Otherwise, trouble will come. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Sikong Chuyu was a little anxious. This matter was too big and could shock the world. I'm telling you. If I don't tell anyone, it won't be exposed easily. Night Sorrow smiled. Whether it's the nihility attribute or the nihility attribute, they are both factors that can cause a storm of blood. Do you know why the cores of demonic beasts below the 4th rank are not worth much? Because they don't contain any elemental attributes. It's the same for cultivators. Sikong Chuyu said to Night Sorrow. After that, Sikong Chuyu explained the importance of elemental cores to Night Sorrow. Whether it was humans or demonic beasts, once they reached the 4th rank, their cores would have elemental attributes. Absorbing elemental energy to cultivate was a method of cultivating elemental attributes. You mean, if they know my elemental attribute, others will kill me and steal my core? Night Sorrow asked in shock. Yes. The nihility attribute is the highest attribute and can restrain other attributes. Everyone covets this attribute, so you have to be careful. Sikong Chuyu nodded. Her heart was filled with worry. If this continued, Night Sorrow would be at the center of the storm sooner or later. It would be very dangerous. I have a way to hide it. Night Sorrow's true chi flowed through his hands and exploded, forming a milky white protective shield. Ice attribute. Sikong Chuyu was stunned. Night Sorrow then explained the characteristics of his mystic ice hands to Sikong Chuyu. After what happened last night, the two did not need to be separated. That's not bad. Sikong Chuyu nodded. With this mystic jade spiritual chi to hide the nihility attribute, it would not be discovered. After lunch, Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu planned to leave for Nanyang City. After a morning's rest, Sikong Chuyu's pain had already recovered. Aoi said a few words to the two before sending them off. Riding on Tianyu, Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu set off for Nanyang City. Sitting on Tianyu's back, Sikong Chuyu leaned into Night Sorrow's embrace. I like this feeling. In the future, let's find a place with beautiful scenery and live a peaceful life. Chuyu, I still want to find my parents first. Night Sorrow whispered. This matter was buried deep in his heart. I know. When it's convenient, let's walk around. Your jade pendant should be a very important clue. Sikong Chuyu said. Time passed quickly as they chatted. In 2 days, the two arrived at Nanyang City. When they arrived at Nanyang City, Night Sorrow could feel the tense atmosphere of battle. The people coming and going in the city were all armored city guards. Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu did not ride Tianyu into the city. It would be easy for them to be attacked. This place was different from Danding City. Night Sorrow did not have special privileges. When they arrived at the city lord's mansion, Night Sorrow took out his identity token. The guards were disciples of Medicine Valley. They recognized Night Sorrow and led Night Sorrow into the city lord's mansion. Inside the city lord's mansion, Night Sorrow saw Yang Lei, Chu Ling Xiao, and Wu Qi. Ninth senior sister, I'm here. Second senior brother Chu, you're all here. Night Sorrow greeted them as they entered the city lord's mansion. Sikong Chuyu also cupped his fists in greeting. 13, you're here. Have a seat. Yang Lei nodded at Night Sorrow. After Night Sorrow sat down, Yang Lei and the others continued to talk about the current situation. Then, Night Sorrow learned about the current situation. The current battlefield between Medicine Valley, O Family, Golden Flame Sect, and Scarlet Cloud Sect was at Nanyang Lake. They were all gathered there to fight. Currently, both sides had victories and losses. Fight at that place? Night Sorrow asked, a little surprised. That's right. Both sides have venerables. The intimidation of venerables is useless. If you sneak attack, then I'll sneak attack as well. Why don't we just crush them in a head-on battle? This is a competition of strength. Whoever can't withstand it will be pushed forward by the other side, Yang Lei said. Is Medicine Valley's loss serious? Night Sorrow asked. It's okay. We lost some protectors and enforcers. The city guards that were mobilized from all over the place also suffered a great loss, Wu Qi said. I'm going to participate in the battle tomorrow, Night Sorrow said. It's not very safe in the chaotic battle. It's better if you don't go, Chu Ling Xiao said. Senior brother Chu, I'm going to participate. Scarlet Cloud Sect and Golden Flame Sect declared war on Medicine Valley because of me. How can I hide at the back at this time? Yi Shang shook his head. He did not want to see the disciples of the Medicine Valley fighting for their lives in front of him while he himself was still hiding in the back. Permanent, free VT fee/watch VT talk. Chapter 306. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Hearing this, Night Sorrow frowned. Don't we have an antidote in the Medicine Valley? Yes, but it's useless. The poison of the red cloud needle takes effect instantly. In that kind of chaotic battle, a momentary delay in reaction is fatal. There's no chance to take the antidote. Yang Lei shook her head and said. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew the power of the Red Cloud Needle. When Yonglei was hit by the Red Cloud Needle, she couldn't move, let alone the other 4th-level guardians and law enforcers. After talking for a while, Chu Lingxiao and Wu Qi went to rest. They had just returned from the front and were tired. Yonglei took Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu to the backyard of the city lord's mansion and told Night Sorrow the current situation in detail. The Golden Flame sect and the Red Cloud sect were fighting to the death with the Medicine Valley. The Medicine Valley sent out the older generation who volunteered to participate in the battle. In other words, they were members with little potential. As the older generation of the Medicine Valley, they were all aware and willing to fight for the Medicine Valley. They were willing to sacrifice themselves and work hard for the future of the Medicine Valley. This kind of desperate fight won't affect the development of the Medicine Valley, but it's heartbreaking. They are all good disciples of the Medicine Valley. Yonglei said with some emotion. Ninth senior sister, don't they use poison needles? Find someone to make me some steel needles or dental needles. If they can use poison needles, so can we. Love go little say, Chu Night Sorrow said. Normally, the bone needles made from the bones of high-level monsters were very powerful. However, what Night Sorrow wanted to make was bone-rotting poison. Bone needles were not suitable. Only steel needles and dental needles with hardness close to that of ore would work. Then let's try it. Guards! Yonglei called someone and directly gave the order. Night Sorrow, be careful when using poison. Don't hurt yourself, Sikong Chuyu reminded Night Sorrow. I will. Night Sorrow nodded. Then you guys have a good rest. I still have to go to the city lord's mansion to sort out the information. These bastards are really troublesome. Yonglei cursed softly. Where are eldest senior brother and the others? Night Sorrow asked. Currently, neither side has sent out any stage 5 cultivators. However, in order to prevent any accidents, Great Elder and Great Senior Brother are standing guard at the front, Yonglei said. Are any of us injured? Night Sorrow asked. Your 11th Senior Brother was slightly injured. It happened the day before yesterday. The other side joined the new forces. We couldn't hold them off with only the older generation of protectors and enforcers. The second-generation disciples of Taishan Peak and Arctic Peak joined the battle. A few of them were injured, but none of them died. Yonglei opened her mouth and said. I'm sorry, Yonglei said. Night Sorrow's expression turned cold. Mo Chen's injuries had angered him. One had to know that Mo Chen had taken good care of him. During that period of time, Mo Chen had accompanied him on missions. Look at section Z3 on chapter 17. I'll join you guys later. Yonglei was busy. She nodded at Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu and left. This is how the world works. The strong prey on the weak. If you are weak, others will bully you. If you are strong, others will respect you, Sikong Chuyu said. Baidu search AI go female sign shao say www.aichuxs. Xiao Night Sorrow nodded. He understood what Sikong Chuyu meant because he already had a lot of feelings. In the evening, Yonglei returned with a bunch of steel needles. Night Sorrow took out the bone-rotting grass and thought for a moment. It's a waste to use it directly. I'll go get a pill furnace to refine poison. With Yonglei and Sikong Chuyu accompanying him, Night Sorrow went to buy 2 pill furnaces. After entering the 4th rank, Night Sorrow could condense alchemy fire and use a 4th rank pill furnace. The previous pill furnace had to be eliminated. He prepared 2 because one was used to refine poison and the other was used to refine other pills. After returning to the city lord's mansion, Night Sorrow used some green radish grass to refine 2 large bottles of bone-rotting liquid. He then put on a pair of gloves and soaked the tips of the steel needles in the liquid. He then inserted them into his hidden weapon belt. This way, he wouldn't hurt himself. Will this work? Yang Lei asked. It's more ruthless than their red cloud needles. This bone-rotting grass is very rare, Night Sorrow said. Yang Lei nodded. She knew that Night Sorrow never exaggerated. After a night's rest, the three of them set off for Nanyang Lake under Yang Lei's lead. It took them half a day to reach the Medicine Valley's camp by the Nanyang Lake. Old 9, why did you let 13 come? Nonsense. The Great Elder glared at Yang Lei. Currently, the Medicine Valley didn't send out any young disciples because they were the future pillars of the Medicine Valley and needed protection. Night Sorrow was also the target of absolute protection. Great Elder, please don't blame my 9th senior sister. I was the one who wanted to come. They are all disciples of the Medicine Valley. Night Sorrow is one too. If they can sacrifice themselves for the Medicine Valley, so can Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow said while looking at the injured disciples of the Medicine Valley. Night Sorrow, this is not your battlefield. Go back. Qian Wu shouted. Great Elder, Second Elder, you are all doing this for my own good. I know this. However, I can't watch my fellow disciples fight while I hide at the back. If I do that, I won't be able to face my own heart, Night Sorrow said. The Great Elder and Second Elder didn't say anything. Since Night Sorrow had put it this way, their refusal was equivalent to a blow to their morale. Don't worry, Great Elder. We will stand at the front. We won't let anything happen to Night Sorrow, a white-haired old man said. A white-haired old man said. He was one of the people who had exhausted his potential and was charging at the very front. Don't worry, Great Elder. The other disciples of the Medicine Valley also stood up and said. I, Night Sorrow, am willing to live and die together with everyone. Night Sorrow said while waving his reincarnation spear. Live and die together. Live and die together. All the disciples of the Medicine Valley shouted. At this moment, the disciples of the Medicine Valley were filled with fighting spirit. Great Elder, I'm sorry. Night Sorrow bowed to the Great Elder. The Great Elder took a deep breath and nodded to Night Sorrow. You are the pride of the Medicine Valley. Go. Thank you, Great Elder. Night Sorrow was very happy to receive the Great Elder's permission. Looking at Night Sorrow's slightly immature but determined face, the Great Elder made a decision. If Night Sorrow was in danger, he would save Night Sorrow even if he had to risk the lives of the experts on the other side. Night Sorrow set up a huge animal skin tent. He and Sikong Chuyu still needed to rest. Besides, Yang Lei was also there. After Night Sorrow set up the tent, all the disciples of the Taishian Peak arrived. 13, your 4th senior brother is impressed by your cultivation speed, Wang An said with a smile. 4th senior brother, come and drink. Night Sorrow opened the jug and poured a bowl of wine for everyone. Actually, it's nothing. Tomorrow, 3rd senior brother and I will fight. You will follow behind him, Lu Ping said. Thank you, 5th senior brother. Night Sorrow cupped his hands at Lu Ping. 13, I believe in your fighting ability. The main thing is to be careful of the opponent's Scarlet Cloud needle. Don't rush to the front. Even if you get hit by the needle, others can save you, Gong Xian reminded Night Sorrow. Chapter 307. Genius 1 second. Remember love go divided by little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. 13. Stay close to me and your 5th senior brother tomorrow, Hua Nan, who had been silent all this time, said. He had been thinking about how to make Night Sorrow safer. Didn't you say that the disciples who participated in the battle were those who had exhausted their potential? Why are all of you participating? Night Sorrow felt that this statement was not right. Unspecified currency now first you, most of them are, but without a disciple in the late stage of the spirit-severing stage, they can't withstand the enemy's attacks. Therefore, the second-generation disciples of each peak have to be the leaders. In order to avoid the enemy's red cloud needles, they have to engage in close combat with the enemy's masters. Even so, there are still disciples from Wangyun Peak who have died, Gong Xian explained to Night Sorrow. Eldest senior brother, I also have poison needles here. I can let third senior brother and fifth senior brother use them tomorrow. Night Sorrow took out the bone-rotting steel needles and placed them on the table. How's the effect? Gong Xian asked as he pulled out a poison needle. The poison needle is poisonous in the blue area, but it's fine in the white area. As long as it comes into contact with the flesh of animals or humans, it will directly corrode into blood, Night Sorrow said. Then, everyone pulled a gray bear for food and did an experiment. As a result, the gray bear fell instantly and slowly turned into blood. 13. Isn't this too overbearing? Lu Ping said. Love Go Little Say Ku. Yesterday, 13 knew that the Red Cloud sect used poison needles, so he researched this to restrain them. If they use the Red Cloud needles, we will use this, Yang Lei said as she hugged Night Sorrow's shoulder. Very good. Everyone take some and throw them away on the battlefield. Let them have a taste of the poison needles, Gong Xian said. Then, everyone took some poison needles, chatted for a while, and returned to their shacks to rest. Ninth senior sister, Chiyu, each of you take a few for self-defense, Night Sorrow said to Yang Lei and Sikong Chiyu. Yang Lei and Sikong Chiyu also took a few and carefully inserted them into their handkerchiefs. Ninth senior sister, I still have some bone-rotting liquid. If you can't handle it, you can go and forge some steel needles, Night Sorrow said to Yang Lei. The quality of the steel needles is not good enough. We can't waste the venom. We have to make some good needles, Yang Lei said. Then use the ice WIRM tooth. Night Sorrow gave the ice WIRM tooth he collected to Yang Lei and let Yang Lei arrange it. Then, Night Sorrow took out the red cloud needle. Under the confused gazes of Yang Lei and Sikong Chiyu, he pricked his left arm. Then, the black jade spiritual energy rushed to his arm. What are you doing? Yang Lei and Sikong Chiyu both stood up nervously. However, what happened next stunned the two girls. Night Sorrow swung the red cloud needle back and forth in his left arm. He was not affected at all. Then, Night Sorrow's left arm shook, and the red cloud needle was shaken out. A little black blood even oozed out. This red cloud needle can't hurt me, Night Sorrow said with a smile. The red cloud needle's venom was very strong, but Night Sorrow's body had been strengthened. His flesh and blood were filled with energy, so the venom could not spread quickly. Then, Night Sorrow's black jade spiritual energy froze the needle. This is possible? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow in shock. She knew the power of the red cloud needle very well. It's fine as long as the venom doesn't spread, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Yang Lei still did not understand, but she did not continue to ask. Then, the three of them meditated and rested, waiting for the next day's battle. The battle went on every day. They fought in the morning and reorganized in the afternoon. When they woke up in the morning, Sikong Chiyu helped Night Sorrow tidy up his hair. My cultivation is at rank 5, so I can't fight with you. You have to be careful. Love Go Little Say W. Chu, Night Sorrow nodded. He carried the reincarnation spear and went to the camp of the Medicine Valley's disciples who were going to fight. 13. You have to be careful. The battle will take place at the stone mountain next to the shoal, Huanan said as he pointed at a place more than 10 li ahead. This was a special area. Both sides were camping at a relatively high place. It was a forest area, and Nanyang Lake was on the side. The middle area was relatively low. It was a shoal, and there was a stone mountain on the shoal. The originally green and white stones were already covered with dark streaks, which were traces of blood. Third senior brother, you have to be careful too. We have a lot of poison needles. If we can't handle it, we can rush out, Knight Sorrow said to Huanan. Huanan nodded. This battle is a war of attrition. Both sides will send out around 200 people to seize the stone mountain until one side retreats. So, don't rush too far ahead. While Huanan was speaking, a group of people rushed out from the opposite camp and headed towards the stone mountain. Medicine Valley's disciples, move out. The Great Elder waved his hand. As the Great Elder waved his hand, the Medicine Valley's disciples set off. The O clan's people cheered. The Medicine Valley and the O clan were fighting together, but their members were separated. Otherwise, there would be accidental injuries in the chaotic battle. This time, the Medicine Valley's disciples might be the O clan's next. Soon, both sides met at the foot of the stone mountain and began to fight. Knight Sorrow's true energy burst forth and formed a protective true energy around his body. He poured his vibrating energy into his reincarnation spear and slashed towards the Golden Flame Sect's disciple. Seeing that Knight Sorrow's cultivation was at the second level of the spirit severing stage, the Golden Flame Sect's old man, who was at the fourth level of the spirit severing stage, sneered. He waved his battle blade and slashed towards Knight Sorrow's reincarnation spear. Clang! With a muffled sound, the old man's battle blade was shaken off. His arms were also wrapped in snow-white frost. Chi! Knight Sorrow's reincarnation spear instantly slashed across the old man's throat. After killing the old man, Knight Sorrow's feet trembled. He swept his reincarnation spear and smashed it towards another Golden Flame Sect's disciple. Knight Sorrow's arms had the strength of over 20,000 Jin. In addition, his true energy was completely unleashed. How could this Golden Flame Sect's disciple, who was at the same level as Knight Sorrow, withstand? His arms that were holding weapons were directly shaken off. His head was also smashed. Without even looking at the corpse, Knight Sorrow waved his spear and pierced towards the neck of the old man who was suppressing the Medicine Valley's disciple. Feeling the strong wind assaulting his body, the old man turned around. Ignoring Knight Sorrow's reincarnation spear, he swung his blade towards Knight Sorrow's left chest. This was a method of fighting where both sides would suffer. He had exhausted all his potential. If he could fight until he defeated a young disciple like Knight Sorrow, he would have profited. Die! Knight Sorrow roared. His left hand executed the mysterious jade hands and grabbed towards the old man's battle blade. This scene caused the faces of the Medicine Valley's disciples to change. Knight Sorrow's actions were too irrational. Exchanging one life for another was fine under normal circumstances. However, it was inappropriate in a group battle. Reckless! The Great Elder roared. His body flashed and he was about to attack. Great Elder, wait! Yang Lei had confidence in Knight Sorrow, so she stopped the Great Elder. She knew the power of Knight Sorrow's mysterious jade hands. Just as the Great Elder was wondering how Yang Lei stopped him, the situation of the battle changed. Knight Sorrow's left hand grabbed the Golden Flame Sect's old man's battle blade. The reincarnation spear in his right hand pierced through the old man's chest. Then, Knight Sorrow swung his left hand and threw the battle blade towards the Golden Flame Sect's disciples. He directly killed a Golden Flame Sect's disciple who was at the peak of the third step. Chapter 308. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Knight Sorrow, who was charging forward, suddenly stopped because 2 crimson cloud needles had appeared on his shoulders. This scene made the spectating members of Medicine Valley worried. They all noticed the red cloud needle on Knight Sorrow's shoulder. The battlefield was chaotic. Even First Elder, Gong Xian, and the others could not see very clearly. However, everyone had the ability to detect and sense, so the scene of the battlefield was imprinted in their minds. At this time, the disciples of the Golden Flame sect surrounded Night Sorrow. They saw the scarlet cloud needle on Night Sorrow's shoulder and knew that he couldn't move. However, at this moment, Night Sorrow made his move. With a sweep of his reincarnation spear, he sent a few disciples of the Golden Flame sect flying, breaking their sternum and shattering their internal organs. What's the situation? Old Nine, do you know? The Great Elder looked at Yang Lei and asked. Scarlet Cloud needles can't do anything to 13. They have made the wrong decision, Yang Lei said with narrowed eyes. You have poison needles, do you think we don't? Lu Peng was infuriated when he saw someone shoot Scarlet Cloud needles at Night Sorrow. He took out his rotten bones and aimed at the leader of the Golden Flame sect. Lu Peng's speed was so fast that the members of the Golden Flame sect were not prepared for it. One of them managed to dodge it, but the other one who was fighting with Huanan was hit. After being hit by the bone-rotting needle, this middle-aged man with a peak spirit-severing stage cultivation base from the Golden Flame sect fell to the ground and turned into a pool of blood. Love Go Little Say Kaluping continued to release poison needles, killing a few Golden Flame sect disciples with high cultivation. Night Sorrow brandished his reincarnation spear and dodged any late Fourth Order martial artists he encountered. If he encountered early Fourth Order and mid-Fourth Order martial artists, he would violently attack them. Then, he rushed to the peak of the stone mountain and fought with the Golden Flame sect's disciples. In just a short while, Night Sorrow had killed more than a dozen disciples of the Golden Flame sect. The area under his feet was covered in blood. Night Sorrow's quick and brutal slaughter had attracted the attention of the Golden Flame sect's disciples. A late-stage spirit-severing expert from the Golden Flame sect rushed to the peak and attacked Night Sorrow. This person was very smart. He knew that Night Sorrow's strength was tyrannical, and his Jinqi attribute was also difficult to restrain, so he didn't want to clash head-on with Night Sorrow. Instead, he surrounded Night Sorrow and attacked with his sword Qi, which made things a little difficult for Night Sorrow. While Night Sorrow was fighting with this disciple of the Golden Flame sect, other disciples of the Golden Flame sect came to besiege Night Sorrow. They had all learned how to use sword Qi and saber Qi to attack. Under such circumstances, Night Sorrow was unable to attend to one thing and lost sight of another. His back was struck by a saber light. Baidu search AI Go female sign Xiao say www.aichuxs.com. The saber light broke through Night Sorrow's protective Jinqi, and its attacking power was greatly reduced. In addition, Night Sorrow was wearing an ice silk soft robe, so the saber light only left a wound on his waist. Night Sorrow was protected by the energy of the myriad Tao Tome, so this wound was only a simple superficial wound. However, he knew that danger was coming. As his thoughts turned, Night Sorrow rushed to one side. These people's cultivation was higher than his. Once he was trapped, he would be easily dismembered by their energy attacks. Night Sorrow's indomitable charge made the person who intercepted him unlucky. His weapon was directly knocked away, and his body was sent flying by the reincarnation spear. His sternum was shattered, and it seemed that he would not be able to survive. However, Night Sorrow was still surrounded. The disciples of the Golden Flame sect were determined to kill Night Sorrow first. This was because someone recognized Night Sorrow and knew that Night Sorrow was a genius disciple of the Medicine Valley. This situation made Huanan and Lu Peng anxious. After killing their opponents, they rushed to the Stone Mountain. After killing the disciples of the Golden Flame sect, Huanan and Lu Peng rushed to Night Sorrow's back and broke through the encirclement. 13, are you okay? Huanan asked worriedly. I'm fine. The scarlet cloud needle on Night Sorrow's shoulder was long gone. That place was protected by the ice silk soft robe. Then continue to kill. Huanan and Luping began to chase after the disciples of the Golden Flame sect. Knight Sorrow was not idle either. How is this possible? Qi Feng, how can your Scarlet Cloud Needle be ineffective? Could it be that he has a protective treasure robe? An old man from the Scarlet Cloud sect asked the man who fired the Scarlet Cloud Needle. Then, he spoke of his own guess. Soon, the battle ended. Knight Sorrow's face was slightly red. The high-intensity battle did not make him feel tired. Instead, it made him feel excited. Read the original chapter on GY. Fighting in a crisis was the best way to hone one's combat experience. Knight Sorrow felt that his spear skills had improved a lot. The battle is over. We can retreat now, Huanan said to Knight Sorrow. At this time, the remaining disciples of the Golden Flame sect had already retreated. Knight Sorrow nodded and followed the people of the Medicine Valley back to the Medicine Valley area. Many people in the Medicine Valley were injured. However, compared to the Golden Flame sect, the Medicine Valley had won a big victory. Seeing the group return, the Great Elder and the others came to welcome them. 13, are you okay? How could you rashly go in so deep? The Great Elder's heart was still hanging in suspense. I was a little impulsive, but I'm fine, Knight Sorrow said. But we saw that you were poisoned. Qian Wu, who had been puzzled, asked the question on everyone's mind. I have a protective armor. The red cloud needles did not hurt me, Knight Sorrow explained. In fact, without the ice silk soft armor, Knight Sorrow was not afraid of the red cloud needles. The Great Elder nodded and asked the other disciples of the Medicine Valley to bandage the injured disciples. Knight Sorrow also returned to the animal skin shack. Under the compulsion of Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu, he bandaged the wound on his waist. By the time Yi Sheng finished treating his wounds, Gong Xian and the others had arrived. 13, you were too reckless today. Huanan was a little scared. If Knight Sorrow had not been able to hold on, he would have been killed and dismembered. If that had happened, he and Luping would not have been able to answer to Yu Yang Yu. Thank you, third senior brother and fifth senior brother, for helping me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to escape, Knight Sorrow said with a smile. A group battle is different from a one-on-one battle. In a group battle, you have to consider your own safety first, Gong Xian said. I know. I will be careful tomorrow, Knight Sorrow said with a nod. Tomorrow, the O family will fight. You don't have to go, Huanan said. Then I will fight. I will be careful. Today's situation will not happen again. Knight Sorrow planned to train his combat experience after reaching the 4th stage. While Knight Sorrow was chatting, the Golden Flame sect's camp was also discussing. Elder Qi, why did your red cloud needles fail to work on that guy? Qi Tiancheng asked. Qi Tiancheng was currently in charge of the Golden Flame sect. Qi Qianli was in charge of the Red Cloud sect. That guy might be wearing a protective armor, Qi Qianli analyzed. Can their poison needles solve the problem? Our sect's disciples have all died. Qi Tiancheng's expression was unsightly. After all, the Golden Flame sect had lost many disciples in today's battle. It's the bone-rotting poison. Apart from being decisive and cutting off the poisoned area or taking precautions, there is no other way, Qi Qianli said. Qi Tiancheng's face turned ashen when he heard Qi Qianli's words. The poisoned arms and thighs could be cut off, but what about the neck and body? Furthermore, what was the difference between self-harm and suicide in battle? Chapter 309. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by Go. Talk Web, providing you with wonderful novels to read. Great news, excavators don't need money anymore. If you gather 10,000 yuan before the night of the 28th, the website will give you 10,000 excavators for free. 10,000 excavators. You can still get your money back after half a month. This is very important to me, I'm crying. If you have the ability, hurry up. This is really a free excavator, 10,000 excavators. You can just click on the excavator page and you can see it. Shizi also had a few words that he wanted to say. This investment is not a scam. That is to say, when you invest, you will be asked to fill in your Alipay or bank card information. Only when you withdraw your money will you be able to invest. 0 original first equals $send on the 13th of October, you can get your money back. This is equivalent to using your money. It's only half a month. Since everyone doesn't care about the interest, I won't say too much. Dan Zhongli is here. If you can't withdraw your money, then you can look for me. Calling everyone, the main thing is that the Myriad DAO's ascension stage really needs the 10,000 excavators given by the website. 10,000 excavators are very important to this book. Chapter 310. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small. We will provide you with wonderful novels to read. Okay, we will definitely injure them severely. Qi Tiancheng nodded. However, he was still worried that the Medicine Valley would have many of these poisonous needles. In the evening, the disciples of the Medicine Valley brought the needles made from the ice flood dragon's teeth under the arrangement of Yang Lei. Night Sorrow dipped the needles in the bone-rotting poison and distributed some to the disciples of the Taishan Peak. After cultivating for a night, Night Sorrow carried the reincarnation spear and walked out of the beast-skin tent. You still want to fight? Looking at Night Sorrow, the Great Elder asked with a frown. Yes. Night Sorrow replied. The Great Elder hesitated. Today, it wasn't the disciples of the Medicine Valley but the disciples of the O clan. This way, the protection of Night Sorrow would be much weaker. Great Elder, if Night Sorrow still wants to fight, we will do our best to protect him. O Zitong and O Ziyun, the two of you will fight today. The O clan's elder, O Shueijie, said to the two peak 4th stage disciples of the O clan. Yes. As long as we are alive, we will not let anything happen to him. O Zitong and O Ziyun bowed and said. 3rd junior brother, 4th junior brother, 5th junior brother, bring the bone-rotting needles and hold the line at the back. When they release the poisonous needles, release them. Gong Xian instructed Huanan, Huang'an, and Lu Peng. The disciples of the O clan and Night Sorrow went out to fight because the disciples of the Scarlet Cloud sect were already advancing towards the shoal. Night Sorrow was placed in the middle by O Zitong, O Ziyun, and the others. They knew that Night Sorrow's safety was very important. Before the fight even started, the disciples of the Scarlet Cloud sect had already released the Scarlet Cloud needles at the O clan. The Scarlet Cloud needles were very precious, but the Scarlet Cloud sect was going all out. After this wave, many people were hit by the needles. Soon after, the disciples of the Scarlet Cloud sect began to charge. The O clan members who were attacked could only retreat. Those who were hit by the needles lost their ability to move and couldn't fight. The others could only retreat. Night Sorrow's figure flickered as he passed by the retreating O clan troops and started to obstruct the pursuing Scarlet Cloud sect's disciples. Seeing this scene, Huanan, Huang'an, and Lu Peng rushed to the front and released their bone-rotting needles at the Scarlet Cloud sect disciples. The O clan's disciples who were hit by the Scarlet Cloud needles were seriously injured and couldn't move. However, they could still survive if they were carried by their companions and retreated. However, they would die if they were hit by the bone-rotting needles. The O clan's disciples retreated. The Scarlet Cloud sect's disciples who were attacked by the bone-rotting poison needles also retreated. The bone-rotting needles in the hands of Huanan and the other two were truly deadly. In an instant, a group of people turned into a pool of blood. Night Sorrow followed behind and killed a few more Golden Flame sect disciples before retreating. Dozens of O clan's disciples were injured. However, this poison's main toxicity was paralysis. So, it wouldn't be a big problem for them to recover for a period of time after taking the antidote pill. Great Elder, it's all thanks to the Medicine Valley's arrangements. Otherwise, our O clan would have been wiped out. O Shueijia was a little scared. At this moment, Chi Qianli appeared on the rocky mountain above the shallow beach. Is the Medicine Valley planning to have a poison war? Poison war? Are you saying that only the Scarlet Cloud sect can use their poison needles? Our Medicine Valley can't. The Great Elder snorted coldly. Since you don't have it, of course we have to use it. Now that both sides are using poison needles, isn't it meaningless? Chi Qianli was choked by the Great Elder's words. If the Scarlet Cloud sect uses poison needles again, our Medicine Valley will no longer have any scruples. Let's see who's more ruthless. The Great Elder snorted coldly. The Scarlet Cloud sect's request was very shameless. However, it demonstrated a principle. If I have the advantage, I will use it to defeat you. If you have the ability to resist, then you have the right to negotiate. Today's situation was like this. If the Medicine Valley couldn't take out their poison needles, then the Scarlet Cloud sect would use them to dominate the situation. Now that the Medicine Valley had the poison needles, both sides were back to the same starting line. The Medicine Valley was good at refining pills. However, due to the restrictions of the sect, the disciples of the Medicine Valley only refined pills that were beneficial to cultivators. No one dabbled in poisons. 13, we're lucky that you're here. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to get rid of the threat from the Scarlet Cloud sect, Gong Xian said. This way, the battle will become routine. Let's see the strength of both sides, Night Sorrow said. We're still at a disadvantage. The Golden Flame sect has a deep foundation and many disciples. If this continues, we'll be the ones at a disadvantage. The Great Elder shook his head and said. Without the threat of the poison needles, they know that their disciples died. They were too aggrieved a few days ago, O Shueijia said. The Great Elder nodded. They were at a disadvantage now. It wasn't a disadvantage in strength, but a disadvantage in foundation. It couldn't be seen in a short time. In addition, the Scarlet Cloud sect was also in a difficult situation. The Southern Dipper sect and the Walkabout sect were not to be trifled with. It was only a matter of time before the Scarlet Cloud sect retreated. Everyone knew that if the Medicine Valley wanted to rise, it was inevitable that they would fight to the death with the Golden Flame sect. This was an inevitable process. The Medicine Valley already had a venerable. Of course, it would develop into a superpower. A mountain couldn't have two tigers. The Golden Flame sect couldn't allow the Medicine Valley to become a superpower. O family's disciples have worked hard this time. The Great Elder cupped his hands toward O Shueijia. You're too polite, Great Elder. There are sacrifices when there are wars. Since we've chosen to ally with the Medicine Valley, we'll advance and retreat together. Perhaps the O family can fight for a better future, O Shueijia said. Don't worry, Elder O. The Medicine Valley won't go back on our words. We can live and die together. The Great Elder made a promise to O Shueijia. O Shueijia bowed. He believed in the Medicine Valley's alliance. Now that he had the Great Elder's reassurance, he felt more at ease. In the next few days, there were chaotic battles every day. Without the threat of the Scarlet Cloud needles and the bone-rotting poison needles, the battles between the two sides were even more tragic. Every time, they wouldn't retreat until they killed everyone. In the past few days, Night Sorrow had killed countless enemies. Every battle had his shadow. Night Sorrow was also smart. Every time he killed an opponent, he would change his position. He would never give others a chance to surround him. The Golden Flame sect and the Scarlet Cloud sect hated Night Sorrow to the bone. The Medicine Valley and the O family had many members with higher cultivation than Night Sorrow. However, they weren't as lethal as Night Sorrow. As long as they weren't as strong as Night Sorrow, they would be killed in an instant. It would be difficult to resist. Night Sorrow's strength and profound Jade's spiritual energy were too strong. Chi Qianli wanted to carry out the dragon-slaying plan on Night Sorrow. However, he didn't dare. The sect master and venerable of the Scarlet Cloud sect had personally ordered that disciples with a cultivation higher than Night Sorrow were not allowed to attack Night Sorrow. Chi Qianli also stopped Shi Tiancheng from doing so. The Golden Flame sect and the Scarlet Cloud sect were in an alliance. He didn't want to have any trouble and need the Scarlet Cloud sect to fill the hole. 9 Acts Most L New Chapter Previous 4 Every time Night Sorrow returned from a battle, he would be greeted with a tsunami-like roar. This was a treatment that the other peak Fourth Order disciples of the Medicine Valley and the O family didn't have. Night Sorrow would rush to the front of every battle. He would die with everyone. The other thing was his achievements. During this period of time, too many disciples of the Golden Flame sect and the Scarlet Cloud sect had died under Night Sorrow's hands. Chapter 3:11. Genius 1 second. Remember, love divided by go divided by little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. After the practice of actual combat, Night Sorrow's spear skills and footwork were getting better and better. His combat experience was also increasing. Love go little say W. Chu. In the beginning, every time Night Sorrow went out to fight, the Great Elder and the others would be on tenterhooks and would warn him again and again. Now that Night Sorrow went out to fight, the Great Elder and Qian Wu would say to kill as many as possible. When Night Sorrow was resting, the disciples of the Medicine Valley and the O family would often drag him to drink. Currently, he was the most popular person here. In the largest tent, the Great Elder, Qian Wu, and O Shuijie were drinking tea. Elders, Yi Shang is a rare talent that only appears once every 1,000 years. You must nurture him well. O Shuijie had a good impression of Night Sorrow, mainly because Night Sorrow got along well with the O family disciples. Great Elder, I think we should let Night Sorrow go to Danding Peak and train him as the next Valley Master, Qian Wu said. This little guy won't accept it. He has a strong personality. Don't force him to do something he doesn't like. The Great Elder shook his head. He understood Night Sorrow and knew that Night Sorrow had his own path in his heart. Wouldn't that be a waste of talent? Oh, Shuijie frowned. Look at the long term. If Night Sorrow rises to a height that we can't reach, who would dare to provoke us? The Great Elder said with a smile. Love go little say W. Chu, that's true. Qian Wu nodded. Do you know why the Scarlet Cloud sect removed the kill order for Night Sorrow? There's a reason for it, the Great Elder said. Qian Wu and O Shuijie both nodded. They were all smart people, so they didn't need to be too blunt. It was enough to get the point across. The Great Elder used this method to tell O Shuijie that Night Sorrow's future was limitless. It was right to form an alliance with the Medicine Valley. In the next 2 days, the Golden Flame sect and the Scarlet Cloud sect became more and more miserable. After another battle, Chi Qianli went to Stone Mountain. Medicine Valley. It's hard to tell who will win in such a chaotic battle. How about a one-on-one challenge tomorrow? Do you dare to accept? I don't know who you are, but I've never seen anyone more shameless than you. It was you who used the poison needles first, and it was you who said that you didn't need the needles. Now that the battle has reached this stage, the Golden Flame sect and the Red Cloud sect can't hold on any longer, so you want to change your strategy. The First Elder was a little angry. So you don't dare. If we lose, we'll retreat, Chi Qianli said. It's not up to you to decide whether to retreat or not. What? Can't the Red Cloud sect withstand the pressure from the Southern Dipper sect and the Freedom sect? The first elder sneered. Chi Qianli's face turned ugly after hearing the first elder's words. The first elder was telling the truth. After he sent a request for reinforcements, the Red Cloud sect replied that they didn't have any extra manpower. They only sent 2 outstanding 4th-ranked disciples. Therefore, Chi Qianli wanted to use a one-on-one challenge to attack the Medicine Valley. Do you dare to accept? If you don't, we'll have to stake everything on a single attack tomorrow. Chi Qianli couldn't afford to waste any more time. He wanted to end the battle here as soon as possible. The Red Cloud sect couldn't afford to be in such a situation. After saying that, Chi Qianli left Stone Mountain. He announced that it was up to the Medicine Valley to decide whether to accept tomorrow's challenge. Then, the first elder and the others returned to the tent to discuss. If the Red Cloud sect and the Golden Flame sect really went all out, the Medicine Valley and the O family would suffer a great loss. Original version 7SS attack. Could it be that they sent experts? Qian Wu asked. That's possible. They can't withstand such a group battle, so this is the only way, Oh Shueijia said. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. If it's possible, we'll challenge them one-on-one. If it's not possible, we'll have to go all out. As long as the Red Cloud sect is defeated, it'll be much easier for us to deal with the Golden Flame sect, the first elder decided. The next day, someone from the Golden Flame sect came to the Stone Mountain. It was Zhan Yu, a peak 4th-ranked disciple. Zhan Yu of the Golden Flame sect, does anyone from the Medicine Valley want to accept the challenge? If you don't, then scram. Zhan Yu said arrogantly in a black robe. Hi, Oh Ziyun, will accept the challenge. Just as Nan Nan was about to accept the challenge, Oh Ziyun of the O family stood up and went to the Stone Mountain with his saber. Then, the two began to fight. The people from the Medicine Valley frowned. Oh Ziyun was of the Earth attribute, while Zhan Yu was of the Wind attribute. The Earth attribute had high attack power and defense, but its attack speed was not as fast as the Wind attribute. After a while, Oh Ziyun was suppressed. After a few rounds, Oh Ziyun was killed by Zhan Yu. At this time, Nan Nan stood up and walked towards the Stone Mountain. Medicine Valley, Taishan Peak, Nan Nan. Nan Nan stood up and rushed towards Zhan Yu. Nan Nan was of the Wind attribute, just like Zhan Yu. Now, it all depended on who had more experience, and who was stronger. There would not be any attribute suppression between the two. Seeing Nan Nan attack, Zhan Yu waved his sword and fought with Nan Nan. Both of them fought with speed. Both of them were experts in speed. The Stone Mountain was filled with their shadows. Eldest senior brother, can third senior brother do it? Knight Sorrow was worried. Yes. Your third senior brother has the most solid foundation among us. It'll be hard to defeat him without reaching the 5th rank. Gong Xian was very confident in Nan Nan. They had been fellow disciples for half of their lives, so they knew each other very well. After fighting for 15 minutes, the difference between them was obvious. Zhan Yu was suppressed by Nan Nan. This was a display of combat experience. Zhan Yu's speed was very fast, but Huanan could accurately determine Zhan Yu's movement path and would attack in advance. Ah! Zhan Yu was furious. His sword glowed with a golden light, and he attacked Nan Nan. After reaching the 4th rank, one could release their chi externally, but the attack power was not very high. If the opponent was strong, they would not be able to break through the opponent's chi shield. Therefore, both Nan Nan and Zhan Yu kept their chi inside. They both wanted to kill in one blow. At this time, Nan Nan's fighting style changed. He started to move around instead of fighting Zhan Yu head-on. He knew that Zhan Yu was using the Golden Flame sect's ultimate skill, the Golden Light Sword. As soon as Nan Nan changed his tactics, Zhang Yu started to become aggressive. Seeing Zhang Yu's movements, Nan Nan snorted. He did not block Zhang Yu's sword. Instead, he twisted his body and slashed at Zhang Yu's chest. Zhang Yu's face changed. Nan Nan's fighting style was a lose-lose. He could hit Nan Nan, but Nan Nan would also hit him. The main point was that Nan Nan's body twisted. Zhang Yu's attack would not be effective. He would only be able to injure Nan Nan, but he would have to pay with his life. After that, Nan Nan ignored Zhang Yu's attacks and went straight for a lose-lose battle. His body would often twist, and he would always be able to avoid his vital parts. At most, he would be injured, and Zhang Yu would die. This was the dragonfish movement technique he cultivated. With a roar, Zhang Yu retreated. He was no match for Nan Nan. Nan Nan did not chase after Zhang Yu. He retreated back to the Medicine Valley. Chapter 312. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little. We provide you with interesting novels to read. Su Wang had never met Night Sorrow before, but he hated Night Sorrow. Su Mu had been defeated by Night Sorrow, and Su Chenbai had died because of Night Sorrow. In addition, Night Sorrow had obtained a great opportunity in the void fiendish space, but he had returned empty-handed. This made him very resentful. Peak of the third stage of the spirit severing stage. Yang Lei, who was standing beside Night Sorrow, said, "This is an outstanding disciple of the Golden Flame sect." When he was at the third stage, he was the overlord of the third stage of the Golden Flame sect, the Great Elder said. The Great Elder said. The Great Elder knew that the Golden Flame sect had spies in the Medicine Valley. Don't go, Night Sorrow. His cultivation level is higher than yours. This battle is not fair, O Shueijia said. I want to go. Since he wants to fight with me, I'll give it a try. Night Sorrow held the reincarnation spear and walked toward the stone mountain. -9H only. Version ET, Other E, all versions. Night Sorrow was not afraid of a peak third stage of the spirit severing stage. Night Sorrow did not know that Su Wang had also entered the void fiendish space. He felt that Su Wang was hostile to him, so he wanted to kill him. Night Sorrow did not know about Su Wang, but Su Wang knew about Night Sorrow. He knew that Night Sorrow had entered the void fiendish space before and that his cultivation level was at the third stage. Therefore, he was not afraid. Love Go Little Say Su Wang's cultivation level was at the peak of the third stage of the spirit severing stage. He did not cultivate much faster than Night Sorrow. After coming out of the void fiendish space, he entered the Golden Flame Hall of the Golden Flame sect. It was a place that could quickly increase one's cultivation level. It had the same effect as Danding Cliff. After cultivating to the third level of the spirit severing stage, Su Wang used the profound meditation pill to raise his cultivation to the peak of the third level of the spirit severing stage. Therefore, he did not believe that Night Sorrow was stronger than him. If he knew that Lei Jing also lost to Night Sorrow, he would not think so. With the reincarnation spear in hand, Night Sorrow arrived at the stone mountain. You actually dared to come. Hand over your gains from the alternate dimension and I'll spare your life, Su Wang said, brandishing the sword in his hand. Shameless boasting. Who do you think you are? Night Sorrow sneered when he heard Su Wang's words. He didn't expect Su Wang to be so arrogant. So you want to die? Su Wang's eyes were like those of a ferocious beast. Don't talk so much nonsense. You think too highly of yourself. Night Sorrow pointed his reincarnation spear at the ground and said. Hearing Night Sorrow's words, Illusionary Wang was enraged. He leaped into the air and slashed his sword at Night Sorrow. AI go shao sure w AI chuex. Xiao Knight's sorrow didn't spoil him. He brandished his reincarnation spear and stabbed at Su Wang's sword. Knight Sorrow's reincarnation spear was filled with white mysterious jade spiritual energy because Su Wang's sword had golden energy. He didn't want to be at a disadvantage. Since even Huanan was afraid of golden sword light, it definitely wasn't simple. Ding! The tip of the spear and the tip of the sword collided. Su Wang retreated because Knight Sorrow's vibration sutra had exploded. It wasn't something he could easily block. Knight Sorrow's reincarnation spear was also dyed with gold. However, as Knight Sorrow circulated his true chi, the gold on the reincarnation spear receded. The golden light sword's energy was domineering, but it was far inferior to Knight Sorrow's void attribute true chi that was covered by the mysterious jade spiritual energy. After pushing Su Wang back, Knight Sorrow stomped his feet and charged forward. His reincarnation spear stabbed at Su Wang again. The following battle left the Golden Flame sect dumbfounded. Su Wang, who had used the golden light sword, was suppressed by Knight Sorrow's attacks. He had to retreat a few steps after receiving Knight Sorrow's spear. His arms were covered with snow-white frost. His fire attribute was completely suppressed by Knight Sorrow. Su Wang couldn't display his speed either because his true chi was almost frozen by Knight Sorrow's mysterious jade spiritual energy. Su Wang, retreat! Qi Tiancheng shouted. He could see that Su Wang wasn't Knight Sorrow's opponent. The gap between the two was too big. Su Wang also knew that he wasn't Knight Sorrow's opponent. He moved his feet and wanted to retreat in the direction of the Golden Flame sect. Knight Sorrow's body flashed and directly appeared in Su Wang's path. He attacked Su Wang and didn't give him a chance to retreat. If you spare my life, I will kill you today. Knight Sorrow was filled with anger. He was so angry that he boasted shamelessly to Su Wang. After receiving 3 consecutive attacks from Knight Sorrow, the long sword in Su Wang's hand was blasted away. Stop! Qi Tiancheng's body flashed as he rushed toward the stone mountain. He didn't dare to let anything happen to Su Wang. Su Wang was Su Huantian's grandson. If he died here, he would have committed a great sin. Get lost! The Great Elder roared and rushed toward the stone mountain. Following the Great Elder's action, Gong Xian, O Shuijie, and Qian Wu also moved. They all flew above the stone mountain and blocked Qi Tiancheng and the Golden Flame sect's elders. What? You guys can't win a poison battle, you guys can't win a group battle. Now you guys want to interfere in a one-on-one battle. The Great Elder coldly looked at Qi Tiancheng and the Golden Flame sect's elders. The Scarlet Cloud sect's people didn't move. Knight Sorrow caught up with Su Wang. He waved his spear and pierced through Su Wang's neck. Then, he lifted Su Wang and threw him to the ground. Stepping on Su Wang's chest, Knight Sorrow placed his reincarnation spear on Su Wang's neck. Let him go. Let's retreat. Qi Tiancheng and the others had already landed on the ground. They started to confront the people from the Medicine Valley. My master said that if you want to kill my people, you have to kill them back. Do you think you can fight and stop whenever you want? Knight Sorrow coldly said. Medicine Valley's disciples, prepare your poison needles. Gong Xian shouted at the disciples of the Medicine Valley who were ready for battle. Spare my life. What a joke. If you want to kill my people, I will definitely kill them back. Knight Sorrow swung his reincarnation spear and chopped off Su Wang's head. You must die. I swear I will kill you. Qi Tiancheng pointed at Knight Sorrow with a trembling finger. I don't have the chance today. If I have the chance, I will definitely kill you. Knight Sorrow bent down and picked up Su Wang's storage ring. Qi Tiancheng was so angry that his beard trembled. However, he didn't give the order to fight. He had heard Gong Xian's words. The people of the Medicine Valley were preparing their poison needles. If they fought, it would be a decisive battle. The people of the Scarlet Cloud sect didn't come with them. Without the help of the Scarlet Cloud needles, how could the people of the Golden Flame sect resist the bone-corroding poison needles of the Medicine Valley? Qi Tiancheng had no choice but to retreat with the people of the Golden Flame sect. Time and time again. Time and time again. In the end, you are defeated. Is this the style of the Golden Flame sect? Knight Sorrow looked at Qi Tiancheng's back and said with disdain. Junior, you are courting death. Qi Tiancheng turned around and roared. Knight Sorrow had embarrassed him several times. Now that he heard Knight Sorrow's words, he was instantly enraged. Your Golden Flame sect has always wanted me dead, but I am still alive and well. I just feel that your Golden Flame sect is too shameless and always wants to suppress others. Don't think too highly of yourself. At the very least, our Medicine Valley doesn't care about this. As long as you dare to come to the Medicine Valley, our Medicine Valley will fight back, Knight Sorrow said. Ignorant junior, how dare you boast so shamelessly? Can you be the master of the Medicine Valley? Qi Tiancheng was so angry that he laughed. Chapter 313. A genius remembers love in 1 second. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Knight Sorrow, this is not only your idea, but also the intention of the Medicine Valley. This is the spirit of the Medicine Valley. If anyone dares to provoke the Medicine Valley, then the Medicine Valley will fight to the end, the first elder said while looking at Knight Sorrow. He did not blame Knight Sorrow for his recklessness. Instead, he was very pleased. Qi Tiancheng snorted and began to retreat with his men. The situation was out of his control. If they fought, the Golden Flame sect would not be able to withstand the bone-rotting poison needles of the Medicine Valley. Besides, he could see that the Red Cloud sect had the intention to retreat. On the Red Cloud sect side, Qi Qianli knew that the Medicine Valley could not easily defeat the poison needles. The result of a bloody battle would be a loss for both sides, which was not a result he could bear. The Red Cloud sect will remember this. Qi Qianli threw out a threat to the Medicine Valley. Who are you threatening? We, the Medicine Valley, will wait here. Come if you dare. The hot-tempered Shi Tianlin roared at Qi Qianli. Qi Qianli ignored Shi Tianlin and retreated with his men. He did not want to continue the battle. So what if he won? The Golden Flame sect's morale had been destroyed. How could they continue the battle? The Red Cloud sect was too far away. It was difficult for them to come here. They came this time to borrow the strength of the Golden Flame sect to attack the Medicine Valley. Now that the Golden Flame sect had retreated, there was no way to continue the battle. Qi Tiancheng, give up the area around Nanyang City. Otherwise, we won't be able to collect the corpses, the first elder shouted at Qi Tiancheng. Qi Tiancheng, who was retreating with his men, trembled. He understood the first elder's meaning. The bone-rotting poison needles were not able to collect the corpses. The people of the Golden Flame sect and the Red Cloud sect had retreated. Once again, the Medicine Valley won the battle. Elder O, I'm very sorry to have caused you to lose an elite disciple. The great elder clasped his hands towards O Shueijie. O Xian's death in battle made everyone feel uncomfortable. It's nothing. This is the fate of cultivators. Knight Sorrow killed the genius of the Golden Flame sect. You can consider it as revenge for him, O Shueijie said. Although he said this, he still felt very uncomfortable in his heart. A disciple at the peak of the spirit-severing stage, no matter what force he was in, needed to be valued. Once he entered the 5th stage, he would be the backbone. How about this? Let's continue to push forward and take back all of Nanyang City's Tai clan's territory. We can't fight for nothing. The Golden Flame sect had failed to provoke them, so they had to pay the price. They couldn't just fight whenever they wanted to and leave whenever they didn't want to. They had to leave something behind. Love go little say ko. After that, Knight Sorrow didn't plan to continue fighting. He planned to go to Danding Cliff to improve his cultivation. After the accumulation of actual combat, Knight Sorrow's cultivation was extremely stable. After bidding farewell to the Great Elder, Qian Wu, O Shuijie, Gong Xian, and the others, Knight Sorrow, Sikong Chuyu, and Yang Lei left. Yang Lei also left the matters of Nanyang City to the Great Elder to arrange. Riding on the flying beast, Knight Sorrow and the others returned to the Dragon Spring Courtyard. Knight Sorrow, why don't you rest for a while before going to Danding Cliff? Yang Lei looked at Knight Sorrow and said. Okay, I'll rest for 2 days. Knight Sorrow nodded. At night, Knight Sorrow went to break through to the bone-forging realm of the Myriad Dao treasured tome. During this period of time, Knight Sorrow's cultivation didn't fall behind. The Myriad Dao treasured tome had already reached the peak of level 7 of the bone-forging realm. He needed to strengthen the bone marrow of his shoulder and collarbone. The advancement of the Myriad Dao treasured tome was a painful process. Fortunately, Knight Sorrow was already used to it. After half a night, Knight Sorrow completed the breakthrough and successfully entered level 8 of the bone-forging realm of the Myriad Dao treasured tome. He began to strengthen his neck and collarbone. Baidu search AI go female sign shao say www.aichuxs. After stabilizing his cultivation for half a night, Knight Sorrow woke up early to practice his spear arts and movement skills. After having breakfast with Sikong Chuyu and the others, Knight Sorrow rode his Tianyu to Danding Cliff. 13. You're here. I heard about your achievements at Nanyang Lake. You are the pride of the Medicine Valley, Elder Su said to Knight Sorrow. This is what the disciples of the Medicine Valley should do. Thank you for your hard work, Elder. Knight Sorrow took out a jar of wine and 2 wine bowls and poured wine for himself and Elder Su. Okay. Elder Su took the wine bowl and drank it in one gulp. After drinking a jar of wine with Elder Su, Knight Sorrow left Tianyu in Elder Su's care and began to cultivate on the cliff. He felt that the Medicine Valley would be stable for a period of time. He could cultivate in peace. In the past, the Medicine Valley had to participate in the resource war between the Golden Flame sect's regional forces. Now that the war was over, how could the Medicine Valley give the Golden Flame sect resources? In the main hall of the Golden Flame sect, Su Huantian's face was cold. Qi Tiancheng, is this the result of your manpower support? The disciples of the Medicine Valley are too difficult to deal with. Even the Scarlet Cloud sect can't suppress them. Otherwise, the Scarlet Cloud sect wouldn't have ended up like this, Qi Tiancheng said with a bow. Venerable One, you can't blame Elder Qi for this. The Medicine Valley produced a powerful poison needle and the Scarlet Cloud sect couldn't control it. The Medicine Valley and the O family are mad dogs. They really want to fight to the death with us, Zhang Yu said. I suggested using the decapitation plan to send out Stage 5 cultivators to kill the outstanding Stage 4 disciples of the Medicine Valley. However, the Scarlet Cloud sect didn't agree, Qi Tiancheng said. The Scarlet Cloud sect's order to kill Knight Sorrow has been cancelled. It's obvious that they were warned by someone. We can't send out Stage 5 cultivators to deal with him. Zhang Yu, go gather some Stage 4 disciples and hide in the Medicine Valley. If there's a chance, kill Knight Sorrow at all costs. Su Huantian wasn't stupid. He had lived for a long time and knew many things. This disciple understands. Zhang Yu bowed. Tell the disciples not to touch the Medicine Valley for the time being. If we don't kill their venerable, we won't be able to win. When Venerable Zhang comes out of seclusion, we will solve the problem of the Medicine Valley. Don't make unnecessary sacrifices. Su Huantian took a deep breath and said. He felt very humiliated to make such a decision. A superpower that had existed for countless years actually couldn't suppress a subordinate power. What kind of humiliation was this? Venerable One, are we just going to let them have the Nanyang City District? Tian Yi asked. Make way. Su Huantian spat out. B** update I, Shinsui and fast up $P, then the resource war between the subordinate powers is meaningless. Tian Yi also felt aggrieved. Cancel the resource battle. Also, dig out from the mouths of the Empyrean Terminus Tower staff members at all costs. Find out what Knight Soro's position is in the Empyrean Terminus Tower. Su Huantian said. He knew that in the Eastern Profound Domain, only the Tianjin Tower could make the Scarlet Cloud sect cancel the order to kill. Other superpowers couldn't make the Scarlet Cloud sect bow their heads. Venerable One, the Scarlet Cloud sect is being attacked by the Southern Dipper sect and the Walkabout sect. Should we fight? Tian Yi asked again. Fight. This time, you will personally lead the team. You must control the situation and make the Scarlet Cloud sect feel that the Golden Flame sect is a good ally. Also, don't lose too many disciples. Only with strength can we stand firm. The Eastern Profound Domain is going to be chaotic. Su Huantian said. While Knight Saro was cultivating, Yin Shui once again came to Danding City. Chapter 314. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Enforcer Dong went to the Longquan courtyard to inform Knight Saro and saw Sikong Chuyu in the courtyard. Enforcer Dong was surprised to see Sikong Chuyu and hurriedly bowed to greet her. Miss, you are here. I've always been here. Have a seat. Don't be nervous. My safety is not a problem. Sikong Chuyu had already detected Enforcer Dong's arrival, but she didn't hide. The current situation could be said to be under Sikong Chuyu's control. She had already reached the 5th rank, so she could go anywhere in the world. If the Sikong clan and Jiyu clan came to find her, she could go to the ends of the world with Knight Saro. With Knight Soro's position in Tianji Tower, the Jiyu clan and Sikong clan couldn't touch the Medicine Valley. It's good that Mrs. Safety is not a problem. Where is Knight Saro? Someone is looking for him. Enforcer Dong asked. He went back to the Medicine Valley. I'll inform him later. Sikong Chuyu said. It's indeed urgent. It's the order of the higher-ups. Enforcer Dong said. If it was someone else, Enforcer Dong wouldn't reveal it, because Sikong Chuyu was a miss he recognized. In addition, Sikong Chuyu was also a member of Tianji Tower. Sikong Chuyu nodded and looked at Yang Lei who was walking over. She told Enforcer Dong that she wanted to see Knight Saro in Tianji Tower. Okay. Chuyu, you receive Enforcer Dong. I'll inform Knight Saro. Yang Lei rode the Blue Eagle and left. Is there any news from the clan? Sikong Chuyu looked at Enforcer Dong and asked. No. Since they searched around and determined that Miss was not in the Eastern Xian domain, there was no news. Is Miss used to living here? I'll buy another courtyard. Enforcer Dong said. He had a good impression of Knight Saro and knew that Knight Saro and Sikong Chuyu were very close, but he couldn't watch his Miss live under someone else's roof. Your Miss and my junior brother are family. This is her home. Aoi walked over and said. Miss, is this true? Enforcer Dong was stunned. Yes, Yi Shang is much stronger than those hedonistic young masters of the Qin Tian domain, so I decided to be with him. Sikong Chuyu was a bit embarrassed. Sure. Then this subordinate congratulates young Miss, and also congratulates young master. Enforcer Dong bowed to Sikong Chuyu. It's good that you know. Don't come here to look for me in the future. It's better to avoid trouble if you can. Love go little say Qiu, Sikong Chuyu said to Enforcer Dong. Okay. If Miss has any instructions, please send someone to inform me. I'll take my leave. Enforcer Dong bowed. Sikong Chuyu nodded and didn't say anything. Enforcer Dong cupped his hands to Aoi and left. He was shocked by today's events, but he also knew that Sikong Chuyu was safe here. The Sikong clan and Ji clan wouldn't come here again. Knight Sorrow stabilized his cultivation in the 8th level of the bone-forging realm of the Myriad Dao scripture. He also raised his true Qi cultivation to the peak of the 2nd level of the spirit-severing stage. He broke through without any hesitation. When Yang Lei arrived, Knight Sorrow had completed his breakthrough and entered the 3rd level of the spirit-severing stage. He didn't have a tranquil mystic pill, and he didn't know if the Merit Hall of the Medicine Valley had it. Level 4 pills were very scarce in the Medicine Valley. Riding the green condor, Yang Lei interrupted Knight Sorrow's cultivation and told Knight Sorrow that Enforcer Dong was looking for him. Knight Sorrow couldn't delay such a matter. He rode Yang Lei's green condor to the foot of Pill Tripod Cliff. He greeted Elder Su and called for Tianyu to rest before leaving. Ninth Senior Sister, I'll go see if the Merit Hall has a tranquil mystic pill and a tranquil mystic pill, Knight Sorrow said to Yang Lei after leaving Pill Tripod Cliff. Yang Lei nodded. Let's go and take a look, but the hope is not very high. These 2 resources have to be reserved in advance before you can receive them. Just as Yang Lei estimated, the Merit Hall didn't have these 2 kinds of pills in stock at the moment. The resources would only be available in a month at the earliest. This made Knight Sorrow feel very helpless. The possibility of him quickly reaching the peak of the 3rd level of the spirit-severing stage was gone. Don't worry. This is the truth. High-level pills are scarce. Your 11th senior brother just received a tranquil mystic pill some time ago. Your cultivation will soon catch up with him. Be content. Yang Lei said. Mo Chin was now at the peak of the 3rd level of the spirit-severing stage. This was because he had accumulated a lot in the early stage. Otherwise, it wouldn't be so fast. Knight Sorrow's cultivation was fast mainly because he could keep up with the resources. In the cultivation world, the disciples of big families and big forces had a bright future and cultivated fast because they had the support of abundant resources. Knight Sorrow nodded. It was best to have the tranquil mystic pill. Even if he didn't have it, he could still cultivate. He still had some ingredients. If he couldn't make it, he could make it himself. After leaving Danding Peak, Yang Lei kept the green eagle. She flashed to Tianyu's back and sat in Knight Sorrow's embrace. Head, F***CK. Since their relationship had been made clear, Yang Lei didn't try to avoid suspicion. If she liked him, she liked him. This was Yang Lei's personality. Hugging Yang Lei's delicate body and feeling the aura on Yang Lei's body, Knight Sorrow had a reaction. Be honest. If you don't have something between you and Chuyu, don't expect to get what you want from me. Yang Lei said with a red face. We're already together. Knight Sorrow turned his head to the side because it was quite embarrassing. Ah. You 2 are together. How come I didn't know? Wait until I get back and ask Chuyu. Hearing Knight Sorrow's words, Yang Lei became spirited. This was no small matter to her. Don't ask. It's so embarrassing. Knight Sorrow hurriedly said. He wanted to dispel Yang Lei's thoughts. Otherwise, it would be embarrassing if the Sikong Chuyu knew that he told Yang Lei about this. All right. Chuyu has indeed changed. She's more feminine and less immature. 13, you're very capable. Wait until I get back and confirm it. Before that, you better be honest. Yang Lei once again leaned into Night Sorrow's embrace. Tianyu's speed was so fast that he had far surpassed the Green Eagle. After 3 hours, Night Sorrow and Tianyu had arrived at Danding City's City Lord's mansion. After entering the mansion and drinking a cup of tea, Night Sorrow walked towards the Tianji Tower opposite the mansion. Night Sorrow couldn't guess why Tianji Tower was looking for him. After all, he didn't know much about Tianji Tower. Under the guidance of Enforcer Dong, Night Sorrow arrived at a private room on the top floor of Tianji Tower. He saw Yin Shui meditating with her eyes closed. Chief Enforcer. After entering the room, Night Sorrow bowed to Yin Shui. 3rd level of Spirit Severing Stage. Your cultivation has increased very quickly. The most important thing is that your Jin Qi is very condensed and solid. Yin Shui poured herself a cup of tea and pushed the teapot in front of Night Sorrow. Chief Enforcer, you're too kind. Chief Enforcer must have a reason to look for Night Sorrow. If there's anything you need Night Sorrow to do, please let me know. Night Sorrow cupped his hands and said. Chapter 315. Genius 1 second. Remember love go divided by Shao. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow nodded and sat opposite Yin Shui. Baidu search AI go female sign Shao say www.aichuxs.com. I was born in the North Sea region. When I was young, I joined Tianji Tower because of my outstanding performance. In order to broaden my horizons, I wandered outside all year round. Because I wasn't in my hometown, the sect I belonged to was destroyed by demonic beasts. After I took my revenge, I didn't want to stay in that sad place, so I left the North Sea region. After many years of wandering, I met many outstanding young people, but you are my favorite, Yin Shui said emotionally as she looked at Night Sorrow. Thank you for thinking so highly of me, Chief Guardian. Night Sorrow could understand Yin Shui's state of mind. When she was talking about her hometown, Yin Shui's body was full of sadness. These are the cultivation resources for your rank 4 cultivation, 3 tranquility pills and 5 bottles of tranquility pills. You have to reach rank 5 as soon as possible. Yin Shui handed a few bottles of pills to Night Sorrow. Thank you, Chief Guardian. Night Sorrow put away the bottles of pills. The Celestial Terminus Tower provides 3 tranquil profound pills, but try to eat as little as possible. 2 pills should be enough. You need to increase your cultivation quickly, but you can't let your foundation be unstable. Yin Shui reminded Yi Chang. In the past, I used to eat 2 pills to increase my cultivation by 1 rank for every rank. I wouldn't be rash, Night Sorrow said. Then I'm relieved. There are no outsiders here. I'll tell you something else. Tianji Tower has a celestial assessment above the Black Abyss. If the people involved don't know about it, they won't tell them. Today, I'll tell you about it, Yin Shui said as she looked at Night Sorrow. Is this appropriate? Chief Guardian, please don't make things difficult for me. Night Sorrow was startled because he knew that this was Tianji Tower's secret. The participants of the Heaven's Fate examination aren't notified, but the various major powers in the other regions are still aware of the existence of the Heaven's Fate examination. This is one of the drawbacks of your small background. However, after entering the 4-star level, you have the right to know. Yin Shui smiled and said. He really liked Night Sorrow's considerate attitude. I have 4 stars. Night Sorrow asked. You've passed the 3-star test, and the Eastern Xian region's Tianji Tower has also applied for a 4-star test for you, so it shouldn't be a problem. Supervisor Lan Yushuan came because of your matter, and she has a very high evaluation of you. In addition, the Pavilion Master has also made some arrangements for you. After passing the 4-star test, your position in the Tianjin Tower will only be higher than this seat's, and not lower than this seat's. You're not yet 18 this year, so as long as you enter the 5th step before the age of 25, you'll definitely pass the Tianji test. 7 years, this seat feels that for you. This time is too long, Yin Shui said with a smile. Then I have to thank Chief Protector for your support. Knight Sorrow stood up and cupped his hands towards Yin Shui. Sit down, let's sit down and talk. 7 years, no one in the upper echelon of the Eastern Xian region thinks that you'll need that long. Elder Ho thinks that 4 years is enough for you, and the Pavilion Master thinks that you won't need 3 years. This seat feels that 3 years is more than enough, Yin Shui said. I'll work hard. Chief Protector, do you want a drink? Knight Sorrow asked. He was somewhat happy and wanted to drink to celebrate. Come on. Do you still need to ask? Yin Shui said with a smile. Knight Sorrow took out 2 jars of green leopard bone wine and pushed one in front of Yin Shui. Chief Protector, come on. Drink as much as you can today. I have some here. Boy, this seat likes your boldness. Come on. Yin Shui opened the wine jar and directly drank 2 big mouthfuls. Knight Sorrow took out some barbecued meat and drank 2 mouthfuls. This wine tastes so good, but it's too strong. It's really a waste that the winemaker doesn't open a pub, Yin Shui said. This wine was made by my 6th senior sister. I've been drinking it recently, Knight Sorrow said with a smile. Good. Come on, let's continue. Yin Shui was in high spirits. She liked wine, but she liked Knight Sorrow even more. Knight Sorrow and Yin Shui drank 2 jars each before they finished. The conflict between the Golden Flame sect and the Medicine Valley is nothing. Tianjin Tower doesn't care about it. If the Venerable of the Golden Flame sect takes action, Tianjin Tower will help. You can rest assured about this. You're a member of Tianjin Tower. Tianjin Tower will give you a stable backing. Go back. Yin Shui leaned on the chair and waved at Knight Sorrow. Yi Shang bowed to Yin Shui and left. He was very touched by Heaven's Extreme Tower's care for him. Walking out of Tianjin Tower leisurely, Knight Sorrow stood at the entrance of Tianjin Tower. He could still remember the scene when he was ambushed by the Golden Flame sect's level 3 Spirit Division disciples. That scene was still vivid in his mind. However, Knight Sorrow could no longer assassinate a level 3 Spirit Division disciple. This was the improvement of his strength. The green leopard bone wine was very strong. After drinking 2 jars of Knight Sorrow, he felt a little dizzy. Knight Sorrow slowly returned to the City Lord mansion. He saw Yang Lei waiting for him. What's wrong with you? Who did you drink with? Why did you drink so much? Yang Lei frowned and helped Knight Sorrow to a seat. I drank with the people of Tianjin Tower. I did drink a little too much, but I'm very happy, Knight Sorrow said with a smile. I really don't know what to say to you. In the future, if you want to drink, you can drink at Longquan Courtyard. It's not safe outside, Yang Lei said with some complaints. She was afraid that Knight Sorrow would be ambushed. Most equals at in section CO of new chapter. Knight Sorrow nodded to Yang Lei. He did drink a little too much, but it was not serious. Yang Lei supported Knight Sorrow and sat on her Qin Condor back to Longquan Courtyard. What's wrong? Sikong Chuyu asked when he saw Knight Sorrow's red face. He drank with the people of Tianjin Tower. I don't know who it was, but he could drink so much that 13 became dizzy. Yang Lei knew Knight Sorrow's alcohol tolerance. After resting for a night, Knight Sorrow woke up and went to the hall. He found Sikong Chuyu and Yang Lei there. How was it? Yang Lei poured a glass of water for Knight Sorrow and asked. It's okay. I drank a little too fast yesterday. That senior is also impatient. He held a wine jar and drank with me. Night Sorrow said as he rubbed his forehead. You can't do that in the future. Sikong Chuyu said as he brought a towel over. Night Sorrow took the towel and smiled apologetically. I was really happy yesterday. That senior is also a forthright person, so I drank a little too much. What's so happy about? Tell me. Yang Lei sat beside Night Sorrow and asked with a smile. He gave me the cultivation resources for the 4th rank and also told me about the heavenly rank examination. He estimated that I can pass the 4-star examination. He said that if I reach the 5th rank in 7 years, I can pass the heavenly rank examination. Therefore, he didn't hide these things from me. Night Sorrow said while wiping his face. Pass the 4-star examination. That's amazing. In other words, you will be at least an elder in Tianji Tower in the future. Aren't they looking down on you by reaching the void inquiry stage in 7 years? Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. Indeed. They are looking down on our 13. Yang Lei hugged Night Sorrow's shoulder and said. Chapter 316. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second. This is a wonderful novel for you to read. Also, he told me to be at ease. He said that the conflict between the Golden Flame sect and Medicine Valley is not a big deal. If the Golden Flame sect sends out a venerable, then Tianjin Tower will deal with it, Night Sorrow said. This was the reason why Night Sorrow was so happy. That's really good news. Yang Lei slapped the armrest of the chair heavily. 9th senior sister, it's enough for us to keep these things to ourselves. There's no need to tell anyone else. If the Extreme Heaven Tower finds out, they'll have a bad impression of Yishang. Sikong Chuyu said to Yang Lei. Yes, I know. I won't cause trouble for your family. Or rather, it should be our family's man. Yang Lei said with a smile. The 3 of them chatted until they reached the martial arts field in the courtyard and watched Aoi instruct the 3rd-generation disciples. Your 13th uncle is a newcomer, and so are you. Why is there such a big gap between you two? Aoi's rattan landed on Shenrong's butt. Shenrong felt aggrieved. Who could compare to Night Sorrow? 6th senior sister, come and have a cup of tea. Yang Lei waved to Aoi. Knowing about Night Sorrow's situation, Yang Lei was also in a good mood. Aoi glared at Shenrong and Jiang Ziming, then walked over to Night Sorrow's side. 6th senior sister, help me take a look at this pill. Night Sorrow took out the pill that Yin Shui gave him and opened it. Aoi took the pill bottle and poured out the pill. She took a look and sniffed it. Supreme Grade Tranquility Pill. Needless to say, it's another product of Tianjin Tower. Yes. 6th senior sister, what's your cultivation level? Do you need a tranquility pill? I have an extra one here, Night Sorrow said to Aoi. She can't use it anymore. Your 6th senior sister is in trouble. In the past, if you weren't a Heaven's Fate or King's disciple, you wouldn't have the Tranquil Profound Pill to use. Now that you're qualified to receive the Tranquil Profound Pill, you can use it. However, your cultivation base has reached the middle stage of the 7th level of the Spirit Severing stage. Aoi shook her head and said. Then I'll give it to 11th senior brother, Night Sorrow said and put the pill away. You can use the Tranquil Pill to raise your cultivation to the peak of level 3 Spirit Severing stage. Aoi looked at Night Sorrow and said. I won't be going to Danding Cliff. I'll just cultivate here. After pondering for a moment, Night Sorrow made his decision. After dinner, Night Sorrow, Yang Lei, and Sikong Chuyu went for a walk in the garden. The night breeze in Longquan Courtyard was especially refreshing. After strolling for a while, Sikong Chuyu said, 9th senior sister, Night Sorrow, I'm going to rest. You guys should rest early too. Chuyu, let's rest together. Yang Lei said with a smile. Love go Xiao say W. Chu no, you two can rest tonight. Sikong Chuyu smiled and left. Chuyu has also become bad. Yang Lei looked at Sikong Chuyu's back and said. Although she said this, she was grateful. She knew that Sikong Chuyu had given her a chance. Night Sorrow sent Yang Lei to the front of the attic. Yang Lei turned around and said, Night Sorrow, you should go and accompany Chuyu. She's generous and I'm generous. This way, we can be harmonious in the future. Night Sorrow smiled and hugged Yang Lei before leaving. After leaving Yang Lei's attic, Night Sorrow did not go to Sikong Chuyu's residence. Instead, he returned to the main building to eat the tranquil profound pill and began to cultivate. Since there was nothing to do, Night Sorrow planned to raise his cultivation to the peak of the third level of the spirit severing stage and then cultivate in the Longquan courtyard to consolidate his cultivation. After dawn, Yang Lei went to the main building first and brewed a pot of tea while waiting for Sikong Chuyu and Night Sorrow. However, in the end, Sikong Chuyu came alone. Baidu search AI go female sign Xiao say www.aichuxs. Calm, ninth senior sister, where's Night Sorrow? Sikong Chuyu asked after sitting down. QNU V8 Chapter O Section GC on F4/ he's not with you. This bastard, he failed to live up to the beauty's grace. Last night, I told him to go find you, but this guy actually came back to cultivate. After a little investigation, Yang Lei found that Night Sorrow was cultivating on the second floor. Night Sorrow cultivated for 3 days and finished absorbing the medicinal strength of the tranquil profound pill. His cultivation also reached the peak of the third level of the spirit severing stage. After stretching his waist, Night Sorrow walked out of the room in a very good state. In the martial arts field, Night Sorrow saw Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu who were cultivating. The two of them had similar cultivation, so they were cultivating combat experience. Seeing Night Sorrow arrive, the two women stopped cultivating. This time, it was Night Sorrow who made tea. 13, you're too much of a bastard. I told you to accompany Chuyu, but you actually went to cultivate. After sitting down, Yang Lei scolded Night Sorrow. That's right, didn't I tell you to accompany ninth senior sister? You bastard. Sikong Chuyu also stared at Night Sorrow. We'll be together for a long time. I'll raise my cultivation first and then consolidate it every day. It just so happens that I'll accompany you. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Then tell me, is Chuyu more important or is cultivation more important? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Both are very important. Without any hesitation, Night Sorrow opened his mouth and said. Night Sorrow's answer made Sikong Chuyu and Yang Lei stunned. They didn't expect such an answer. It was a little hurtful. As long as one was a little smart, they wouldn't answer like that. Why are you looking at me like that? Night Sorrow looked at the two women and asked. Is cultivation so important to you? 13, we misjudged you. Yang Lei was a little angry. It is very important. If I don't cultivate, I won't have cultivation. If I don't have cultivation, I won't be able to go to the Qingtian region and the Sikong clan to propose marriage. If I don't have cultivation, I won't be able to protect you if a powerful enemy appears. Night Sorrow didn't understand why Yang Lei was angry. Cultivation was indeed very important to him. So that's how it is. I'm not angry with you. Sikong Chuyu said with tears in her eyes. When she first heard Night Sorrow say that cultivation was as important as her, she felt very sad and disappointed. However, after hearing Night Sorrow's explanation, her sadness and disappointment disappeared. What was left was touched. Night Sorrow did it for her and Yang Lei to cultivate. Take it slow. Cultivation isn't something that can be improved in a day. Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and said. Her eyes were full of heartache. In the past 2 years, Night Sorrow hadn't been idle. As long as he had time, he would cultivate. He had suffered a lot. Did the sect successfully take over the territory near Nanyang City? Night Sorrow asked after taking a sip of tea. Yes, the Golden Flame sect has indeed stopped. The territory that originally belonged to the Thai clan of Nanyang City has been given up. The main reason is that they don't have the energy to fight with us. They want to help the Scarlet Cloud sect. The Scarlet Cloud sect has been beaten up badly by the Southern Dipper sect and the Free and Unfettered sect. The Golden Flame sect is an ally, so they can't help. Yang Lei said. The situation is still very chaotic. Night Sorrow sighed. Right now, the Eastern Xian region is indeed a mess. The Holy Light sect and the Thunder Rumbling sect are fighting very fiercely. The Holy Light sect wants to teach the Thunder Rumbling sect a lesson. The Thunder Rumbling sect is very belligerent. Even if there is only one person left, they won't be convinced. Yang Lei said. Chapter 317. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Then let's go outside and take a look at the Thunder Rumbling sect. Yang Lei said. That's fine too. Let's go out for a walk. The Thunder Rumbling sect is located at a place where we have to pass through the Southern Dipper sect. The Medicine Valley and the Southern Dipper sect are allies, so there shouldn't be any problems, Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. Also, we can go to Dongxian City for a walk. Night Sorrow, our Danding City is big enough, right? Dongxian City is at least 10 times bigger than Danding City. Even if we take a beast carriage, we won't be able to reach the end of the city in one day. Flying beasts are not prohibited there, Yang Lei said with a smile. That's good. If flying beasts are prohibited, taking a beast carriage will be very troublesome, Night Sorrow said. Before Yang Lei became the city lord, Night Sorrow had to take a beast carriage to enter and leave Danding City. He felt that it was very troublesome. Ordinary cities are afraid of being attacked by demonic beasts, so they restrict flying demonic beasts from flying within the city. However, Dongxian City is a royal city. Even if it's a demonic beast at the martial monarch realm, it will only end up dead if it tries to cause trouble. There are many rules that are unnecessary, said Yang Lei. A city like this, we must visit when we have time. Night Sorrow was interested in Dongxian City after hearing Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu's story. Indeed. One of the 9 royal cities of the continent, with a history of 10,000 years. That's the real magnificence, Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. 9 royal cities. In other words, each region has a king city. Yi Shan asked. Yes, the 9 regions have 9 royal cities and 3 royal cities. However, only one royal city, Zhongzhou City, still exists. The other 2 royal cities have already disappeared in the long river of history, Sikong Chuyu said. Where are the other 2 royal cities? Night Sorrow asked in confusion. But in the end, neither Yang Lei nor Sikong Chuyu could explain it. According to historical records, there were 3 imperial cities, but after the ancient investiture of the gods, only the shattered central continent city remained. The other 2 imperial cities had disappeared. Night Sorrow also knew about the investiture of the gods. The investiture of the gods was something that happened many, many years ago. That era was called the Ancient Era. At that time, 7th-level saints and 6th-level venerables were as numerous as the hairs on an ox, but after the investiture of the gods, they all fell. Due to the intense battle, the heavens were enraged. Heavenly lightning and earthly flames descended, shattering the originally complete continent into 9 regions and 18 prefectures. That was a war that affected all the cultivators on the continent. That was the sorrow of history, the sorrow of cultivators, and the fall of an era. Seeing Night Sorrow pondering, Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu didn't say anything. After all, some things still had a huge impact on Night Sorrow, who was inexperienced in the world. There are some things that you don't have to think about. The two missing imperial cities are a mystery on the continent. Tianji Tower and various large organizations have a bounty. Tianji Tower's bounty is a divine weapon. The other forces have a variety of bounties, but all of them are priceless treasures. Of course, even if one is lucky enough to know the location of the two imperial cities, no one will accept the bounty. In the ancient era, there were countless saints and venerables in these two imperial cities. They would have left behind countless treasures, Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. I'm already too busy with my own matters. How can I have time to think about this? Night Sorrow said with a smile. What are you so busy with that you can't handle it? Don't think so much at such a young age, Yang Lei said as she patted Night Sorrow on the shoulder. I have to work hard on my cultivation. Ninth senior sister has a master to support her, so she can marry me. But Chuyu can't. She still has a lot of difficulties, Night Sorrow said. Ninth senior sister, Night Sorrow still has to find his family. By the way, Night Sorrow, did you ask the higher-ups of Tianji Tower to see if there are any clues? Sikong Chuyu asked Night Sorrow as he looked at him. Love Go Xiao say W, Chu, I didn't ask. The main thing is that I'm still fighting for qualifications, so I didn't mention these things, Night Sorrow said as he shook his head. Ask when you have the chance. It's just asking. It won't affect anything. Your jade pendant is with me. You can't ask, right? Take it back first, Sikong Chuyu said. Just wear it. When you need it, just take it out and let them identify it. Night Sorrow shook his head. That was a keepsake he gave to Sikong Chuyu. It was impossible to take it back. That's fine. When you need it, come to me. Sikong Chuyu was also reluctant to part with the jade pendant. It was given to her by Night Sorrow, and it was also the most important thing to Night Sorrow. After making the decision to go to the Thunder Sect, Night Sorrow and the other two told Aoi about it. It's good that you guys go out for a walk, but you have to tell Master about this. Ninth junior sister, you are the city lord. If you leave for a long time, you have to report it to the sect. Aoi was more mature and thought more. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei nodded. They knew that such things had to be told to Yu Yangyu and the Great Elder. Sikong Chuyu stayed in the Dragon Spring courtyard, while Night Sorrow and Yang Lei rode their flying mounts to Danding Peak. They arrived at the place where Yu Yangyu was in seclusion. When the two arrived, Yu Yangyu was drinking tea in the courtyard in front of the pavilion. You two are here. Have some tea. Yu Yangyu said with a smile. Master, you are in a good mood. Yang Lei said as she sat down. Indeed. I just broke through and didn't even finish this pot of tea. You guys came. Yu Yangyu smiled and nodded at Yang Lei and Night Sorrow. Congratulations, Master. Congratulations, Master. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei quickly stood up and congratulated him. After Yu Yangyu broke through, his cultivation base was at the peak void inquiry stage. One more step and he would reach the venerable realm. Don't be in a hurry to congratulate me. It won't be too late for you to congratulate me after I break through. Yu Yangyu waved his hand and gestured for them to sit down. Master, you are going to stabilize your cultivation base and improve your mental state next, right? Yang Lei asked. My mental state is good enough. The only thing I lack is my cultivation base. In the past, due to limited resources and the loss of the sacred cauldron scripture, I couldn't improve my cultivation base. Once I improve my cultivation base, advancing to the next realm will be a matter of course. When Yu Yangyu said that, his body was filled with confidence. Lack of resources. Then I still have some spiritual liquid here. Take it, master. Night Sorrow took out 2 bottles of spiritual liquid of origin. Keep them for yourself. You also need resources. Old 9, you need to control your junior brother's extravagant spending. Yu Yangyu looked at Yang Lei and said. Shi-san still has some left. Yang Lei said with a smile. You still have some left. Then I'll keep them. I really need resources now. Yu Yangyu looked at Night Sorrow. When he saw Night Sorrow nodding to indicate that he still had some left, he kept the 2 bottles of spiritual liquid of origin. Master, we plan to go out for a walk. Yang Lei told him the purpose of their visit. I knew you guys have something to do. The Medicine Valley is still too small. It's good for you to go out for a walk. I will send an elder to Pilding City later to help you guard it. Don't worry. Where do you want to go? Yu Yangyu did not stop them and directly agreed. However, he still asked for the details. Chapter 318. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Go. Be careful. Old 9 and 13 lack experience. You should take care of everything. When you come back, I'll take care of your matters, Yu Yangyu said. Master, there's no rush. 13 hasn't settled Sikong Chuyu's matter yet. It's not appropriate for us to do it first. Sikong Chuyu's face blushed. That's up to you. When you want to do it, just tell me. I'll help you do it beautifully. Yu Yangyu said with a smile. Master, please take care of yourself. Night Sorrow bowed to Yu Yangyu. After bidding farewell to Yu Yangyu, Night Sorrow and Yang Lei rode the Tianyu back to Danding City. When she was with Night Sorrow, Yang Lei didn't use the green condor. Soon, the 2 arrived at Longquan Courtyard. You 2 are fast. Aoi greeted Night Sorrow when she saw him. 6th senior sister, did you know that Master has broken through? Yang Lei said happily. That's great. I'll go back later to congratulate Master. Aoi said when she heard Yang Lei. Aoi and Yang Lei didn't have any relatives. Yu Yangyu was not only their master, but also their father. Master said it's not worth celebrating. We'll talk about it when he breaks through again. Yang Lei said with a smile. All right then. Master probably didn't stop you from leaving. When do you plan to leave? Aoi asked. We'll pack up and leave. Yang Lei said. At the same time, she waved her hand to call her disciples over. Jiang Ziming came over with his junior brothers and junior sisters. They all bowed to Yang Lei. Ziming, you're the eldest senior brother. You have to take good care of your junior brothers and junior sisters. Listen to 6th Martial Uncle's arrangements. Yang Lei instructed. I will. Master, you should come back soon, Jiang Ziming said. They all knew that Yang Lei was going out. Yang Lei held Qing Ji's hand and said, as a master, it is up to the individual to cultivate. In terms of cultivation, you must work hard. In addition, the most important thing is that you must be united among your fellow disciples. You must respect and understand each other. You must be like me, your uncle masters, and your uncle masters. In this life, what I am most grateful for is that I have good senior brothers, senior sisters, and junior brothers. In fact, in Taishan Peak, it wasn't only Yang Lei who taught the disciples this way. Everyone else was the same. The friendship between fellow disciples was the most important thing in Taishan Peak. After packing up, the three of them left the Dragon Spring courtyard and headed toward the Southern Dipper sect. Sikong Chuyu and Night Sorrow rode the Tianyu while Yang Lei rode the Azure Eagle. Yishang originally planned to give the Tiger Eagle to Yang Lei, but Yang Lei thought it was ugly and Qing Ji didn't like it either. Therefore, Yishang gave the Tiger Eagle, which had more potential than the Green Condor, to Qin Jin. The three of them weren't in a hurry. During the day, they rode the flying beasts. At night, they rested. In any case, it didn't affect their cultivation. After traveling for more than 10 days, Night Sorrow raised his cultivation from the peak of the 3rd stage of the Spirit Severing stage to the 4th stage. Chu Yu, the protectors of Tianji Tower, said that if the venerables of the Golden Flame sect make a move, then the Tianjin Tower will step in. Will we be able to make it in time? Night Sorrow asked after he finished practicing his spear art after camping. It shouldn't be a problem. There are many protectors of Tianjin Tower. There should be venerables of Tianjin Tower in the area of the Golden Flame sect. Experts can sense each other's aura, so we should be able to stop them in time, Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. Let's not talk about this first. Even if it was an ordinary patrol of Tianjin Tower, the venerables of the Golden Flame sect would have to retreat. The Golden Flame sect knows very well what the consequences would be if they didn't give face to Tianjin Tower. Love Go Xiao Say W. Chuyang Lei patted Night Sorrow's shoulder and said. If that's the case, I'm relieved, Night Sorrow said after taking a sip of the tea brewed by Sikong Chuyu. We're not very far from the Southern Dipper sect Star Do City. Shall we go there, Night Sorrow? Yang Lei asked. No, let's head to the Thunder Rumbling sect and see what's going on there, Night Sorrow said after a moment's consideration. ZR Quick W Go on 4Y. Night Sorrow knew Nanxing from the Southern Dipper sect, but there was no friendship between them. The battle between the Thunder Rumbling sect and the Holy Light Temple was very fierce, so he wanted to see Lei Bao and Lei Jing first. Although he had only met them once, Night Sorrow approved of them. At this moment, Jiao Qing was drinking tea and chatting with a yellow-robed woman in the back courtyard of the Star Do City's main city. The yellow-robed woman's hair was tied up simply on top of her head, with 2 locks of black hair hanging down naturally. Her eyes were very spirited. Uncle Qing, is that Night Sorrow from the Medicine Valley really that outstanding? The yellow-robed woman asked. Yes, very outstanding. You should know that the Medicine Valley has nothing to do with the Tianji Tower. He was able to survive in the Tianji Tower by relying on his ability and strength, Jiao Qing said. Then I'll go and meet him when I have time, the yellow-robed woman said after thinking for a moment. Don't get on his bad side, or you'll get into trouble. The people in the Tianji Tower now treat him like a treasure. In terms of weight, even us uncle and niece can't compare, Jiao Qing said nervously. Uncle Qing, don't worry. It won't be a big deal to spar with him and teach him a lesson. I've heard Nanxing talk about him before, the woman said with a smile. This woman was the Southern Dipper sect's holy maiden, Nan Liyue. Liyue, you have to continue working hard. The heavenly assessment isn't a secret, but I have my principles. I can't tell you about your rating. You should enter the 5th order as soon as possible, Jiao Qing said. I will. Uncle Qing, don't worry. It's rare for Uncle Qing to come back. Do you want to stay for a while? Nan Liyue said with a smile. No, the Golden Flame sect and the Medicine Valley have a conflict. I have to monitor the situation, Jiao Qing said while shaking his head. Didn't the Tianji Tower say that it doesn't care about the struggle between the various forces? Nan Liyue asked, puzzled. That's the principle, but the Medicine Valley can't be destroyed now. This is the value that Night Sorrow has created for the Medicine Valley. If the Golden Flame sect sends out a venerable or makes a move, then the Tianji Tower will stop it, Jiao Qing said. Liyue understands. When I'm done with the recent matters, I'll go and patrol the Golden Flames sex area, Nan Liue said after thinking for a while. Liue, you have to remember one thing. When you become a member of the Tianji Tower, the interests of the Tianji Tower are the most important. The interests of the sect and the family are second. If you violate this, the Tianji Tower will deal with you. This is the principle, the iron principle. Whoever crosses this line will die, Zhao Qing said seriously. He was afraid that Nan Liue would do something out of line because of her young age, so he reminded her in advance. If she crossed the line, then he wouldn't be able to help her even if he was the protector of the Eastern Xian domain branch of the Tianji Tower. Uncle Qing, don't worry. I know the principle. Nan Liue nodded. Chapter 319. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Our Southern Dipper sect won't be affected, right? Nan Liue asked with some worry. Of course not. Uncle is leaving. When you see your father and other uncles, please say hello for Uncle Qing. Also, when you see your grandfather, please say that Uncle Qing is unfilial. Zhao Qing stood up and said. After sending Zhao Qing off, Nan Liue sat down and slowly tasted her tea. She didn't have any doubts about Zhao Qing's words. Zhao Qing was the most outstanding person of her father's generation in the Southern Dipper sect. After thinking about it, Nan Liue decided to walk around the Medicine Valley area. She planned to meet Night Sorrow, who currently had the highest rating in Tianji Tower. This wasn't because she had any malice toward Night Sorrow, but mainly because she was curious about Night Sorrow. She admitted that she couldn't do what Night Sorrow did. Night Sorrow and the other two moved forward every day. After reaching the No Man's Land, Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu rode Sikong Chuyu's Fire Phoenix. The two of them treated it as a sightseeing tour. Night Sorrow sat on Tianyu's back and meditated. Ninth senior sister, isn't Night Sorrow working too hard? Most people would have gotten sick of it long ago, but he's cultivating it with gusto. Sikong Chuyu looked at Yi Shang behind her and said. I really didn't expect this guy to be so ruthless. Yang Lei said with a smile. Although he doesn't say it, he's still under a lot of pressure. It's mainly because the Medicine Valley is in the teeth of the storm. Sikong Chuyu said. Night Sorrow cultivated as they moved forward. When they camped at night, Night Sorrow had his own animal skin shack and didn't stay with the two girls. After a month and a half, the three of them entered the territory of Thunder Rumbling Sect. After asking around, they found out that the battlefield between Thunder Rumbling Sect and Holy Light Religion was at Fallen Leaf Mountain. 13. Do you want to go to Fallen Leaf Mountain Range or Thunder Mountain? Yang Lei asked. We're going to the Fallen Leaf Mountain Range mainly to watch the battle here and increase our knowledge. Lei Bao and Lei Jing might also be in the Fallen Leaf Mountain Range, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Let's head towards the Fallen Leaf Mountain Range. If we do that, we won't have to take a long detour to reach Dongxian City. Sikong Chuyu agreed with Night Sorrow's suggestion. Following which, the three of them headed towards the Fallen Leaf Mountain Range. They had also noticed that the Thunder Rumbling Sect had also mobilized their forces and were gathering towards the Fallen Leaf Mountain Range. Chu Yu, ninth senior sister, this journey is too tiring. Chu Yu, how long did it take you to travel from the Qingtian region to the Eastern Xian region? Night Sorrow sighed. Love go little say Kug, the Eastern Xian region is rather remote, right? In other regions, there are teleportation arrays between major cities. Each use requires different amounts of spirit stones. I took the teleportation array to reach the realm sea of the Eastern Xian region. It didn't take much time, but I did use some spirit stones, Sikong Chuyu said. Teleportation array. Night Sorrow didn't understand. Teleportation arrays are extremely precious. They require space crystals as their foundation. Each activation also requires spirit stones. I'm not sure about the teleportation arrays in the Eastern Xian region, Sikong Chuyu said. In the Eastern Xian region, only the main cities of a few super sects have teleportation arrays. Thunder Rumbling Sect, Sacred Light Sect, Golden Flame Sect, Scarlet Cloud Sect, and Southern Dipper Sect are certain to have teleportation arrays. As for Free and Unfettered Sect and Star Cloud Sect, I'm not sure, Yonglei said. It's convenient to have a teleportation array. What you need is spirit stones. If you teleport a long distance, you'll need more spirit stones. If you teleport a short distance, you'll need less spirit stones, Sikong Chuyu explained to Night Sorrow. Then can't we have a teleportation array in Danding City? Night Sorrow asked. Space crystals are too rare. In addition, to inscribe a teleportation array, you'll need an array master. Array masters are even rarer than alchemy masters. Therefore, it's too difficult to set up a teleportation array. Even in other regions, teleportation arrays are extremely luxurious, Sikong Chuyu said. I understand. Night Sorrow nodded. The three of them rode on their flying demonic beasts and continued to fly towards the Fallen Leaf mountain range. Night Sorrow planned to watch the battle here and gain some experience. After seeing Lei Bao and Lei Jing, he would go to Eastern Xian City and Tianji Tower to see the origin of his jade tablet. After flying for another 7 days, the three of them arrived at the Fallen Leaf mountain range. There were many disciples of the Thunder Rumbling sect here. Night Sorrow's group was intercepted by a Thunder Rumbling sect disciple riding on a Thunderbird. My name is Night Sorrow, Lei Bao's friend. I wonder if Lei Bao is in this area. Night Sorrow asked. You're looking for young Master Lei Bao? Alright, you guys land and rest. I'll go ask around. It'll take about a day. The Thunder Rumbling sect disciple rode on a flying beast and left. Night Sorrow's group landed on the ground and set up camp. It would take a long time to send a message. This was still the outer area of the Fallen Leaf mountain range. If they went in directly, there would be a conflict. At noon the next day, while Night Sorrow was still practicing his spear arts, the sound of thunderbirds appeared in the sky. A few thunderbirds appeared in Night Sorrow's sight and landed. Ha! It's really you. After getting off the Thunderbird, Lei Bao gave Night Sorrow a bear hug. If you were coming, you should have told us in advance. We would have come to pick you up so you wouldn't have been intercepted. Lei Jing walked down from another Thunderbird. How could I have told you in advance? I've been on the road for more than 2 months. Night Sorrow said with a smile. That's true. Brother, let's go. We'll talk when we reach the camp. Lei Bao said and got on his own Thunderbird. Night Sorrow's group rode on a flying beast and followed beside Lei Bao and Lei Jing. Is the battle still very intense? Night Sorrow asked. He saw the bloodstains on Lei Bao's and Lei Ming's robes and understood that it was the result of not changing in a hurry after the battle. Yes, those Holy Light Temple bastards think that my Thunder Rumbling sect is easy to bully and want to push through the Fallen Leaf mountain range. They think too much. As long as there's still one person in my Thunder Rumbling sect, they can't hope to pass. Lei Bao cursed. Night Sorrow, isn't your Medicine Valley also very chaotic? I heard that Scarlet Cloud sect and Golden Flame sect have joined forces to attack your Medicine Valley. Lei Jing, who was standing on the back of a Thunderbird, asked. That's why you're not up to date. The battle happened 2 months ago, and they've already retreated. Although you're allies with the Scarlet Cloud sect, I still have to say that they can't afford to go to war just because I killed their people in the alternate space, Yishan said. That's right. You're not up to it. That's the alliance of the older generation. It doesn't affect our friendship. In fact, I don't like those people. They have the same moral character as Holy Light Temple, they can't afford to lose. Holy Light Temple also sent a message to my Thunder Rumbling sect to hand me over just because I killed a few of their elite disciples. What the hell is this? If you're afraid of death, don't enter the other dimension. Lei Bao cursed. Me coming to your front line won't affect you, right? Night Sorrow asked. Look at the original version of the chapter, no. Chapter 320. Genius 1 second. Remember love/go/little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. That's good, as long as I don't disturb you. Night Sorrow said. Tomorrow, you drink and watch me kill the enemy. I heard that you killed a lot of Red Cloud sect's disciples in the other dimension. This brother can't compare to you, but killing some Holy Light Temple's disciples is still possible. Why don't you introduce the two beauties behind you? Lei Bao asked with a smile. Night Sorrow introduced Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu to Lei Bao and Lei Jing. Admirable. Not only is Brother Ye's combat strength strong, but in other aspects, Brother Yi is also inferior. Lei Jing cupped his hands towards Yishang. Ha! Don't make fun of me. Night Sorrow replied with a smile. He turned around and saw that Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu's cheeks were red, which made him a little embarrassed. When the three of them arrived, the battle between Holy Light Temple and Thunder Rumbling School had just ended. The battle between the two clans took place in a canyon, the Grand Canyon of the Fallen Leaf Mountain Range. The canyon was very spacious, enough for thousands of people to fight. The high ground on both sides of the canyon was the campsite of both sides. When they arrived, the Thunder Rumbling School's disciples were transporting corpses back and forth. It seemed that many people died in the battle. You two bastards, why didn't you say anything when you went out? At this time, an old man came over and reprimanded Lei Bao and Lei Jing. Uncle Lei Jun, we brothers came from hundreds of thousands of miles away to see us, so we had to go and greet you. Lei Bao said. Are these your friends? The dark-faced old man with a steel needle-like beard, Lei Jun, asked. Night Sorrow greets Senior. Night Sorrow bowed to Lei Jun. Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu cupped their hands toward Lei Jun. Night Sorrow, Lei Bao, and Lei Zheng were friends, so they followed the rules of juniors. Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu were both at the 5th step of cultivation, so they didn't need to follow the rules of juniors. What two pretty girls. Good cultivation. If you have friends, then go and entertain them. If you dare to run around again, I'll break your legs. The old man glared at Lei Bao and Lei Zheng before he left. Ha! My uncle Lei Jun has a fiery temper. He is the person in charge of our Thunder Rumbling sect. Lei Bao said. After that, Lei Bao called for people to set up the animal skin tents and a bonfire to roast an elk. After the barbecue was done, Night Sorrow took out the wine. Sorry for the intrusion. Please don't mind. What are you talking about? We are friends. Don't say this in the future. I have to thank you for not making things difficult for my brother. Otherwise, he would have lost his own bird. Lei Bao glanced at Lei Zheng and said. Ha! Then I won't stand on ceremony. Let's drink. Night Sorrow threw out 2 jugs of wine and said. Speaking of which, brother, were there any battles in the alternate dimension? Lei Bao asked. I killed Qi Xian and Qi Zhonglia from the Red Cloud sect, and a few others. I didn't see anyone else come. Night Sorrow said. Then you have to thank me. I met people from the Golden Flame sect on the way. I killed a few of them and chased some away. I also robbed some resources. Lei Zheng said with a smile. Then many thanks, brother Lei Zheng. Yishan cupped his hands towards Lei Zhang. There were two strong ones. I think one was called Su Wang, and the other was called Su Yuan. Lei Zhang took a sip of wine and said. Su Wang. I killed that guy a while ago. Knight Sorrow remembered that the one who challenged him at Nanyang Lake and was killed by him was called Su Wang. That guy was pretty strong. It took me a lot of effort to defeat him. When it came to Brother Yi, he was killed immediately. That's the difference between us. Lei Zhang said with some emotion. After chatting for a while, Lei Bao and Lei Zhang left. They needed to rest, cultivate, and prepare for battle because they were fighting every day. These two guys are really straightforward. They will be good friends. Yang Lei said to Knight Sorrow. After chatting for a while, the three of them went to rest. Lei Bao and the others arranged 2 animal skin tents for Knight Sorrow and the other 2. After cultivating for a night, Knight Sorrow woke up early. After drinking a sip of water, Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu came to his tent. Then Lei Bao and Lei Jing came with breakfast. This is a battlefield. It's a bit casual. Brother, don't mind. Lei Bao said. Brother Lei, don't be so polite. Since we are friends, there's no need to be so formal. Knight Sorrow said. Ha! Well said. If I don't die in this battle, I will owe you a big meal. Lei Bao patted his chest and said. After eating, they rested for a while. Then, the battle began. Lei Bao and Lei Jing went out to fight. Hundreds of people from both sides rushed into the canyon. Hidden weapons filled the sky. It was much more intense than the battle between Medicine Valley and Golden Flame sect. Lei Bao and Lei Jing carried their heavy swords and rushed into the crowd. They didn't even use their true qi because it would consume a lot of energy. This kind of battle was a war of attrition. The faster they consumed, the faster they died. Some people roared, some people screamed. Human life was especially cheap and humble in this battle. Supra 9 both sides had people dying, but no one retreated. After seeing so many deaths, there was no fear in everyone's heart. There was only the desire to kill the enemy. In the air, there were still rank 5 cultivators fighting. The battle was much more intense than the battle between Medicine Valley and Golden Flame sect. At this time, Knight Sorrow noticed that a fierce person had appeared on the Holy Light Temple's side. He was constantly killing the Thunder Rumbling sect's disciples. Then, he rushed towards Lei Bao, who was entangled with the Holy Light Temple's disciples. Lei Bao is dangerous. That guy's cultivation is at the peak of the 4th order. Moreover, he has extraordinary combat strength. He easily killed 2 Thunder Rumbling sect's late 4th order disciples. Yang Lei knew that Knight Sorrow couldn't see through the man's cultivation, so she explained to Knight Sorrow. While Yang Lei was speaking, the black-clothed man jumped up and stabbed his sword towards Lei Bao. Seeing this man attacking him, Lei Bao waved his sword to block. Knight Sorrow couldn't hear anything. He only saw Lei Bao's right hand being pushed back and his body being sent flying. The black-clothed man jumped up and continued to chase after Lei Bao. The Thunder Rumbling sect's disciples couldn't stop him and were easily killed. This person has the ability to fight above his level. The Thunder Rumbling sect's rank 4 disciples can't stop him. Knight Sorrow said. He was also worried for Lei Bao. Lei Bao was not convinced. As long as this black-clothed man rushed up, he would definitely fight back. However, after a few moves, he vomited blood and was seriously injured. Knight Sorrow moved. He could ignore the battle between the Thunder Rumbling sect and Holy Light Temple, he could ignore the life and death of others. However, he couldn't watch Lei Bao get killed. After all, they were friends. Chapter 321. Genius 1 second. Remember, love divided by go divided by little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. The sky-piercing spear pierced through the air with a black light and blocked the black-clothed man who was about to kill Lei Bao. Love go little say Netku. The black-clothed man glanced at Night Sorrow and swung his sword at the sky-piercing spear. Bang! After an explosion, the black-clothed man was forced to retreat. At the same time, the sky-piercing spear was also sent flying back. Night Sorrow leaped into the air and caught the sky-piercing spear in his hand. Then, he held the reincarnation spear in his right hand and stood beside Lei Bao. He grabbed Lei Bao with his left hand and pulled the heavily injured Lei Bao behind him. Night Sorrow, quickly retreat. Lei Bao struggled to stand in front of Night Sorrow. You are not from the Thunder Rumbling sect. Don't get involved in this. Quickly leave. Don't make a mistake. The black-clothed man looked coldly at Night Sorrow and said. He noticed that Night Sorrow's battle robe was different from Lei Bao's and the disciples of the Thunder Rumbling sect. I am indeed not from the Thunder Rumbling sect and I am not willing to get involved in this battle. However, he is my friend. He even called me brother this morning. If you want to kill him, you have to go through me first. Night Sorrow looked at the black-clothed man and said. Then let's talk with our strength. The black-clothed man waved his long sword and slashed at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow used his left hand to throw Lei Bao behind him. Then, he waved his right hand and used the energy of the myriad Tao Tome to activate the mysterious ice spiritual chi and poured it into the tip of the spear. At the same time, he poured his true chi into the spear and pierced it towards the black-clothed man's long sword. Ding! With a crisp sound, the two weapons clashed. Night Sorrow was forced to retreat 4 steps while the black-clothed man retreated 3 steps. Night Sorrow felt that this man's strength was very profound. At first, it was soft, but then there was a strong recoil. This kind of extreme energy exertion technique offset Night Sorrow's shockwave. At the same time, an extremely strong force rushed towards Night Sorrow, but it was offset by Night Sorrow's true chi. Strong. Night Sorrow felt that this was the strongest level 4 person he had ever met. Not only did this person block the vibration scripture executed by his myriad Tao Tome, but the rebound of his vital energy had also traveled 1/3 of the way into the reincarnation spear. This person's strength was very terrifying. However, Night Sorrow was not afraid. His heart was filled with fighting spirit. With a low roar, Night Sorrow rushed forward. As he rushed forward, his Jin Chi rushed to the tip of the spear. The energy of the myriad Tao Tome entered the body of the spear. It was the same as the first time they had clashed. However, the order of the Jin Chi and the energy of the myriad Tao Tome was changed. Baidu search AI Go Xiao Shua www.aichux. Since the shockwave couldn't restrain the opponent's hidden needle technique, he would change his method. Seeing Night Sorrow's attack, the black-clothed man's eyes flashed. He waved his sword and slashed towards Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear. He didn't believe that his peak spirit severing stage cultivation couldn't suppress Night Sorrow's level 4 spirit severing stage cultivation. The two weapons clashed and didn't immediately separate. Soon after, energy ripples appeared at the point of contact. This was the explosion of Night Sorrow's wave force. 20 consecutive waves of wave force blasted the black-clothed man back. However, Night Sorrow's true chi had been used up. He was also forced back a few steps by the recoil. The black jade spirit chi was overbearing, but it couldn't invade the black-clothed man's sword. The black-clothed man's true chi was incomparably strong. It wasn't something that Night Sorrow's true chi could contend against. Soon after, Night Sorrow attacked again. He waved his reincarnation spear and fought with the black-clothed man. Every time their weapons clashed, Night Sorrow would be forced back. However, the black-clothed man also had to retreat to reduce the force gap. The difference of 5 levels created a huge gap. Night Sorrow's true chi and the myriad Tao Tome's energy alternated and reached an endless state. However, he could only block the black-clothed man. Night Sorrow knew that if this continued, he would definitely be defeated. This was because he would be the first to exhaust his energy. Fortunately, the battle didn't last long. The Thunder Rumbling sect's disciples who had repelled the other Sacred Light Religion's disciples came to help. They released their hidden weapons and repelled the black-clothed man. At the end of the battle, Night Sorrow retreated a few steps. His chest heaved up and down as he breathed rapidly. The battle just now had consumed a lot of his true chi. Brother Yi, little brother Lei Bao, Lei Bao, owe you my life. Lei Bao casually wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and chin and came to Night Sorrow's side. You call me brother, so you don't have to be so polite. Night Sorrow said to Lei Bao. I don't know how the Sacred Light Religion could produce such a ruthless person. I have also fought against Sacred Light Religion's late-stage spirit-severing stage experts. Even if I couldn't win, I wasn't in such a sorry state like today. Lei Bao said with some emotion. This is the help of your Thunder Rumbling sect's disciples. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to hold on for a while. This guy is indeed powerful. Night Sorrow also knew that this black-clothed man was indeed powerful. Since his debut, he had never been so passive. Brother Bao, are you okay? Lei Jing also came over. He was also covered in blood. The wound on his left shoulder was still open. It was very horrifying. Are you okay? We were almost killed by him. Lei Bao said. Ha! It's still Brother Yi who is domineering. With a level 4 spirit-severing stage, he was able to withstand that brutal guy. Otherwise, we would have been unlucky. Lei Jing supported Lei Bao and returned to the Thunder Rumbling sect's camp with Night Sorrow. Little brother, this old man thanks you. Seeing Night Sorrow and the others return, Lei Jun greeted them and cupped his hands to Night Sorrow. Senior Lei Jun, you are too polite. It's nothing. Night Sorrow said with a smile. If you don't mind, you can call me Uncle Lei Jun. You guys rest, I will check on the other injured disciples. I will come back later. Lei Jun nodded to Night Sorrow and left. On Lei Bao and Lei Zhang's side, the Thunder Rumbling sect's disciples came forward to bandage their wounds. This is not good. No one can withstand this bastard. He rampaged through our Thunder Rumbling sect's disciples. It will be difficult for us to win. Lei Zhang was somewhat worried about the next battle. Today, the Thunder Rumbling sect's disciples had suffered a great loss. Night Sorrow, are you okay? Sikong Chiyu asked. I'm fine. It's just that I consumed a lot of energy. This guy is really strong. I am not his opponent. I may be able to hold on for a short period of time, but for a long period of time, I will lose. Night Sorrow said. Just as they were talking, Night Sorrow's acquaintance, Lei Jing, came over. Brother Bao, I brought the information. That guy is the holy son of the Holy Light sect. His name is Ho Jian. A few years ago, he entered the Fourth Order. Currently, his cultivation is at the 9th level of spirit-severing stage. He is the strongest disciple under the 5th Order of the Holy Light sect. Q more unspecified currency G nu O fastest Y, up. He is this generation's holy son. No wonder he is so strong. What should we do? Lei Zhang was somewhat anxious. I have already informed them that Lei Zhang and Lei Ku are coming. However, they will arrive tomorrow night at the earliest. Lei Jun walked over and said. What about tomorrow? Tomorrow, we will continue to let him slaughter our thunder-rumbling sect's disciples without restraint. Lei Zheng's eyes were red because today, his cousin had died in battle. How about this? Tomorrow, I will fight with him and restrain him. After thinking for a moment, Night Sorrow said. Chapter 322. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Yang Lei's heart was full of worry. Ho Jian was too strong. Killing other 9th-level spirit-severing experts was as easy as flipping his hand. Night Sorrow was able to hold on for a while today, but it was also very dangerous. Another thing that was not suitable was that Night Sorrow was from the Medicine Valley, which could easily bring trouble to the Medicine Valley. 9th senior sister, if I do this, it may bring trouble to the Medicine Valley, but I really can't just sit back and do nothing. Tomorrow, I will say that this is my own idea and has nothing to do with the Medicine Valley. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and said. Okay. It's all up to you. Yang Lei knew that Night Sorrow was in a difficult position. Lei Bao and Lei Jing both regarded him as a brother, so of course, Night Sorrow couldn't just watch the two of them die. Today, thanks to you, our thunder-rumbling sect's defeat was saved. Whether you fight tomorrow or not, as long as the Holy Light religion is unfavorable to the Medicine Valley, then our thunder-rumbling sect will fight with the Holy Light religion to the death. Lei Jun said, which was equivalent to making a promise. It's nothing, it's just a coincidence. Night Sorrow said. After staying with Night Sorrow for a while, Lei Jun left. He still had a lot of things to arrange. In today's Rank 5 battle, Thunder Rumbling Sect had 2 injured, and Holy Light Religion was the same. He had to arrange the Rank 5 members for tomorrow's battle. Night Sorrow, I'm sorry. You came as a guest, but I dragged you into the water. Lei Bao looked at Night Sorrow apologetically. As a disciple of the Medicine Valley, I really can't participate in the battle without any scruples. You have to understand me. Night Sorrow said with a wry smile. We understand. We are very grateful for your help today. Lei Bao said. After talking for a while, Lei Bao and Lei Jing went to treat their injuries. Night Sorrow, Yang Lei, and Sikong Chuyu sat quietly. 13. The Holy Light religion can't threaten the Medicine Valley. After all, the Thunder Rumbling Sect and the Southern Dipper Sect are in between. The main problem is your safety. After thinking for a moment, Yang Lei ruled out the hidden danger of the Holy Light religion attacking the Medicine Valley. That guy's strength is very special. Night Sorrow. My shockwave energy is useless against him. Tomorrow, I plan to fight him in close combat. I'll use the mysterious Jade Hands and King Kong Hands. As long as I can injure him, it will give the Thunder Rumbling School time to recover. That will be enough. Night Sorrow spoke his thoughts. Well, if you can't hold on, just retreat. Fighting with such an opponent, it's not embarrassing even if you lose, Yang Lei said. While Yang Lei was talking, Night Sorrow suddenly got distracted and stood up. Night Sorrow, what happened to you? Sikong Chuyu was shocked to see Night Sorrow. Wait for me here. Don't follow me. Someone wants to see me. Night Sorrow then left the tent and walked towards the forest to the left of the Thunder Rumbling faction. 2 miles into the forest, Night Sorrow saw a black-robed old man. He had seen the black-robed old man before. The black-robed old man waved his arm and wrapped Night Sorrow in his energy and left. A moment later, the black-robed old man released the energy binding on Night Sorrow and arrived at a small river. The black-robed young man, Ho Jian, was making tea. Night Sorrow turned his head to look at the old man he saw at the celestial water lake. Sit down and drink the tea. This lord will slowly explain to you. The old man waved his arm and directly moved a few stones and then sat down. Knight Sorrow also sat down. He was not worried about his safety. If this old man wanted to kill him, it would be too easy. There was no need to go through so much trouble. Well, you too have doubts in your hearts. Now, I will explain to you. Ho Jian, this lord does not care about the battle between the Holy Light Religion and the Thunder Rumbling School. As long as the Holy Light Religion is not destroyed, this lord will not intervene. However, you cannot have a conflict with him. The black-robed old man, Ho Jian, said. Granduncle, this disciple does not understand. Ho Jian looked at Knight Sorrow and said. You do not understand. Knight Sorrow, you may not understand either. Ho Jian, you have the Tianji Tower's patrol token and are a direct member of the Tianji Tower. Similarly, Knight Sorrow is also a direct member of the Tianji Tower. In the future, you two will not be ordinary patrols. Therefore, there cannot be a conflict between the two of you. Ho Yuan said. Senior, I am sorry. This junior does not want to go against the Holy Light Religion. It is just that Lei Bao and Lei Jing treat me as a friend. I came here as a guest and cannot watch them be killed. If that happens, I will not be able to face myself. In the future, no one will dare to be my friend. Knight Sorrow stood up and bowed to Ho Yuan. Although he did not do anything wrong in this matter, he was in the wrong. Sit down. Since the matter has already happened, then think of a way to solve it. This lord also just came here today. If I did not come, who knows what kind of trouble would have happened. Ho Jian, you cannot blame Knight Sorrow. You can only envy Lei Bao and Lei Zheng for having a friend like Knight Sorrow. Ho Yuan looked at Ho Jian and said. Granduncle, rest assured. This time, this disciple came to the Fallen Leaves mountain range to train myself, not to kill a lot of people from the Thunder Rumbling School. Neither side can destroy the other, so this kind of war is meaningless. Knight Sorrow. I really admire you. Ever since I started cultivating, I've always been able to fight above my level. I can easily kill opponents of the same level. You're the first person to use a lower cultivation to stop me. Ho Jian bowed to Ho Yuan and then looked at Yi Shang. Today, I can no longer hold on. However, I cannot watch Lei Bao be killed by you, so I forced myself to hold on. Knight Sorrow said. 9. Update. See, the reason I got the two of you out is to talk about this matter. This battle is meaningless. Tomorrow, this lord will talk to both sides and make them stop. Knight Sorrow, Ho Jian, you have to be more open-minded. Now, because you are from different sects and belong to different forces, you are opponents. But what about when you go out? Eastern Xian region only occupies a small place among the 9 regions. The world outside is much bigger. When you go out, you will represent Eastern Xian region. You will have to fight side by side. Ho Yuan took a sip of tea and said. This disciple understands. Ho Jian stood up and bowed. This junior understands. Knight Sorrow also bowed to Ho Yuan. He found that Ho Yuan was able to reach the top of Tianji Tower. His vision were not comparable to ordinary people. I will not hide it from the two of you. Lei Bao and Lei Jing are also members of the Black Watch. In the future, they will also be direct subordinates of Tianji Tower. Therefore, in this lord's opinion, this battle cannot be carried out. If anything happens to either of you, this lord will not bear it. Ho Yuan said. Ho Jian and Knight Sorrow listened without saying a word. They were not clear about this matter. Knight Sorrow, you came so far just to visit a friend. You are really something. What do you plan to do next? Ho Yuan looked at Knight Sorrow and asked. This junior came out to increase his knowledge. I will go to Eastern Xian City later. At that time, there are some things that I need to ask Senior. Night Sorrow said. What is it? You can say it now. Ho Yuan said to Night Sorrow. Chapter 323. Genius 1 second. Remember love go divided by Shao. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Then, do you have any clues? Or do you have any keepsake? Ho Yuan was very curious about this. Night Sorrow was very talented, so he wanted to know what kind of family Night Sorrow came from, and what kind of power he belonged to. Baidu search love go female sign Shao Shua www.aichux.com. I have a keepsake, but I don't have it with me. Next time, I'll show it to Senior and help Junior identify it. Night Sorrow said. Alright, if you want to go to Dongxian City, then you can find me at Tianji Tower. I don't know if our Holy Light Temple has lost any children these years. Ho Yuan said, and at the same time made a joke. Senior must be joking. Thank you for your care. Night Sorrow bowed to Ho Yuan. Alright, the two of you go back after having a cup of tea. I need to settle some things. If everything goes well, the battle tomorrow will be over. If not, the two of you are not allowed to fight tomorrow. Ho Yuan stood up and left after giving them some instructions. I'm sorry about today's matter. Night Sorrow raised the teacup in his hand toward Ho Jian and said. You think too much. My granduncle is right. I should be envious that Lei Bao and Lei Jing have a friend like you. Seeing you put a lot of pressure on me. You have too much room for improvement. If I don't enter the fifth order, it will be very difficult for me to improve my strength. Soon, I will be overtaken. Ho Jian said. Brother Ho is too modest. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Outside the Eastern Profound region, we are partners who fight side by side. But in the Eastern Profound region, I still see you as an opponent. The days without an opponent are very boring. Ho Jian looked at Night Sorrow and said. Good. Without an opponent, there is no motivation. I agree with your point of view. Night Sorrow didn't expect Ho Jian to be so magnanimous. Look at original edition chapters tick on G. However, if you go to the Holy Light Temple area, I will treat you as a friend just like Lei Bao and the others. Ho Jian said. Forget it. If I were to fight with you today, your Holy Light Temple's disciples would recognize me. They would definitely think that I'm an enemy. If I dare to go to your Holy Light Temple's territory, I will be chopped to death. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Don't worry. As long as you mention my name, no one will touch you, Ho Jian said. Same. If you come to the Medicine Valley, I will also welcome you as a friend, Night Sorrow nodded and said. After chatting for a while, the two parted ways. Night Sorrow returned to the Thunder Rumbling Sect's shack. In the shack, Night Sorrow saw the worried faces of Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu, as well as the pale-faced Lei Bao and Lei Jing, who had bandages wrapped around his shoulder. What's the situation? I heard from Ninth Senior Sister that someone is looking for you. Lei Bao asked. Just like Night Sorrow, he now addressed Yang Lei as Ninth Senior Sister. The battle might not be able to continue. Night Sorrow sat down and said. Who is it that wants to see you? Sikong Chuyu asked. There are no outsiders here, so there's no harm in me telling you. It's a high-level member of Tianji Tower, or rather, a high-level member of Holy Light Temple's Tianji Tower. He doesn't want me to clash with Ho Jian, so he won't allow us to fight tomorrow. Night Sorrow said. He knew that Lei Bao and Lei Jing were members of Black Watch, so he didn't think it was a big deal. Then wouldn't our Thunder Rumbling Sect be passive? Lei Zhang said with some worry. That won't happen. Aren't you and Lei Bao also patrolling Tianji Tower? That's why he doesn't want you to die. This senior seems to want to negotiate and stop this battle, Night Sorrow said. That's good. If he's biased, then it'll be really troublesome. Lei Zhang said. No, this senior is very broad-minded. Besides, this is a meaningless battle. If the venerables of both sides don't fight, and if the venerables don't die, then it's a meaningless war of attrition. Night Sorrow said. Then we'll just wait for the news. Damn it, Night Sorrow, if you didn't come, why would they care about my life or death? I won't be polite with you. Come, bring me wine. Lei Bao shouted outside. Lei Bao and Lei Jing, despite their injuries, drank with Night Sorrow. After drinking 2 jars of wine, they left. They didn't dare to drink too much because they weren't sure if the battle would stop tomorrow. After Lei Bao and Lei Jing left, Night Sorrow, Sikong Chiyu, and Yang Lei chatted. This time, there are gains and losses. Even if we offend Holy Light Temple, then so be it. Yang Lei said. I don't think so. That senior didn't mind, I can see that. That Holy Son Ho Jian also said that although we're usually opponents, if I go to Holy Light Temple, he would welcome me as a friend. It can be seen that he's not a narrow-minded person. Night Sorrow said. Then there's no problem. Breadth of mind determines one's achievements. If he's narrow-minded, then he wouldn't have reached his current height. The same goes for character. What kind of character would comprehend energy exertion techniques that are close to the character's concept? That guy's strength is a rebound, which shows that his character is soft and tough. Sikong Chiyu said. You're right. Lei Bao and Lei Zhang's energy exertion techniques are explosive. Night Sorrow pondered for a moment and said. Actually, your energy exertion techniques are very close to your character. Let's not talk about this. Tomorrow, you don't have to fight, so we can feel more at ease. Yang Lei only cared about Night Sorrow's safety. She didn't care about anything else. After resting for a night, Night Sorrow tidied up and left the tent. He found that the camp was really quiet today. There were disciples of Thunder Sect patrolling back and forth, but he didn't see any intention to fight. While Night Sorrow was thinking, Lei Bao came over. The higher-ups have given the order that we won't fight today. It seems that the senior has come to an agreement. Night Sorrow said. Although I'm not afraid of fighting, it's best if we don't fight. I really don't want to see my brother who's drinking today become a cold corpse tomorrow. Lei Bao said with some emotion. The battle has stopped, but in the end, we still have to wait for the order from the sect headquarters. The elders have already gone to ask for instructions, and the Holy Light Temple has no intention of fighting today. Lei Jing said. I reckon that they won't be able to fight. Regardless of whether it's the Holy Light Temple or the Thunder Rumbling School, they have to give face to that senior. Although he comes from the Holy Light Temple, he does things fairly. The Thunder Rumbling School should be able to feel that your sect elders will make a suitable decision. Yi Shan said. If the battle stops, you can come to our Thunder Mountain as guests. We brothers will definitely treat you well. The conditions on the battlefield are too bad. Lei Bao said. I still have other things to do. I plan to go to Dongxian City. If I have time, I will go to Thunder Mountain. Night Sorrow said. That won't do. This time, you must go to Thunder Mountain. It's the same to go to Dongxian City from there. Lei Jing said. Isn't that a long detour? It's enough for me to see my 2 brothers. Night Sorrow came to Thunder Sect to see Lei Bao and Lei Ming. Now that he had achieved his goal, there was no point in going to Thunder Mountain. Chapter 324. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. What do you want to do? Yang Lei stared at Lei Bao and said. Ninth senior sister, I'm sorry. Just pretend I didn't say anything. Night Sorrow, even if we have to tie you up, we will bring you to Thunder Mountain, so don't resist. Lei Bao explained to Yang Lei, then looked at Night Sorrow and said. Ninth senior sister, Chuyu, what do you think? Night Sorrow looked at Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu and asked. 13. Don't tell me you're interested in the beauties of Thunder Rolling Mountain. Yang Lei glanced at Yi Shang and asked. Ninth senior sister, you and Chuyu are both by my side, how would I dare? Night Sorrow explained with a smile. So you mean, if ninth senior sister and I are not by your side, you dare? Without waiting for Yang Lei to speak, Sikong Chuyu opened his mouth. You wronged me. Am I that kind of person? Night Sorrow helplessly said. You are. Yang Lei said. Not only Yang Lei said so, Lei Bao and Lei Jing also pointed at Night Sorrow inhumanely, joining Yang Lei's camp. You two are too inhumane. Knowing you two is not a good thing. Night Sorrow looked at Lei Bao and Lei Jing with contempt. Well, there's no need to fight. Call people to get some prey and roast it. Lei Jing finished his words and went out to arrange. 13. Did you see that? The atmosphere of Thunder Mountain sect is similar to that of Taishan Peak. Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and said. Yes, very relaxed, very casual feeling. Night Sorrow said. For the next 2 days, there was no battle. On the 3rd day, Thunder Mountain sect issued the order to retreat. When Thunder Rumbling School retreated, the people of Holy Light Religion also retreated. When the Holy Light Religion withdrew, the black-clothed Ho Jian appeared in the canyon. He cupped his hands toward the Thunder Rumbling School camp, then turned around and left. Night Sorrow knew that this was Ho Jian's greeting. However, Night Sorrow didn't say anything. There were some things that needed to be done. Without continuing to reject Lei Bao and Lei Zheng's good intentions, Night Sorrow followed Lei Bao and Lei Zheng towards Thunder Rolling Mountain. Night Sorrow, when we reach Thunder Mountain, you can try to challenge the Thunder Tower, Lei Bao said as they set up camp. Since you mentioned it last time, I wanted to ask. What is the Thunder Tower? Night Sorrow asked. You can say that here, but if you say it elsewhere in the Thunder Rumbling sect, you'll definitely be caught as a spy. The Thunder Rumbling Tower is the symbol of the Thunder Rumbling sect, and it's also the core of our sect's protective formation. Love Go Little Say Lei Bao introduced it to Night Sorrow. Seeing that Night Sorrow still didn't understand it, Lei Jing explained it to Night Sorrow in detail. The Thunder Rumbling Tower was the Thunder Rumbling sect's spiritual treasure. It had existed since the founding of the sect. Just like the 8-dragon cauldron in the Medicine Valley, it couldn't be moved. However, the Thunder Rumbling Tower was more domineering than the 8-dragon cauldron. Its defensive power was extremely strong. Even venerated realm experts couldn't damage it. The Thunder Rumbling Tower was located in front of the Thunder Rumbling Mountain. It was located at the north of Thunder Rumbling City. It was a sacred place of the Thunder Rumbling sect. Not only was the Thunder Rumbling Tower the core of the sect's protective formation, but it also had a special function. Just like the 8-dragon cauldron, it could temper cultivators. There were 70 floors in the Thunder Rumbling Tower. Every 10 floors corresponded to the Qi Refinement Realm, Essence Gathering Realm, Core Condensation Realm, Spirit Severing Realm, Void Inquiry Stage, Clear Heaven Realm, and Sage Realm. The spiritual Qi in the tower was rich. Not only could it increase one's cultivation base rapidly, but it could also help one comprehend the technique of exerting energy. Lei Zheng's explosive force and extreme force were both comprehended with the help of the Thunder Rumbling Tower. This is not bad. However, we are not members of the Thunder Rumbling sect. Is it appropriate for us to challenge the tower? Night Sorrow asked. Love go little say W. Chu, you don't have to worry about that. I will handle it. Lei Bao said with a smile. In the following days, when they were camping, Night Sorrow would often spar with Lei Bao and Lei Jing to improve their combat strength. Their main purpose was to study the technique of exerting energy. Lei Bao and Lei Jing were also battle maniacs. Every time they were tortured by Night Sorrow, they would be exhausted. However, after they recovered, they still wanted to fight. Night Sorrow's vibration force and wave force were good training for them. They traveled during the day and rested at night. After half a month, they finally arrived at the headquarters of the Thunder Rumbling sect, the Thunder Rumbling Mountain. The structure of the Thunder Rumbling sect was different from that of the Medicine Valley. The headquarters of the Medicine Valley was still quite a distance away from the Pill Tripod City. However, the Thunder Rumbling sect was not. The Thunder Rumbling sect was built with the Thunder Rumbling Mountain at its back. The Thunder Rumbling City was just outside the mountain gate. In other words, the northern gate of the Thunder Rumbling sect was the entrance of the Thunder Rumbling sect. After entering the Thunder Rumbling City, the group continued to fly. However, the disciples of the Thunder Rumbling sect surrounded Night Sorrow, who was riding on the Tianyu, Wang Lei, and Sikong Chuyu, who were riding on the Fire Phoenix. Night Sorrow, when you are alone, do not use flying demonic beasts in the Thunder Rumbling sect. In the Thunder Rumbling sect, only the Thunder Rumbling sect's exclusive mount, the Thunderbirds, can fly. The others are all under attack. Lei Bao reminded Night Sorrow. Understood. You are all Thunderbirds. This is very convenient. Night Sorrow said. That's right. Our Thunder Rumbling sect is the birthplace of Thunderbirds. The sect has domesticated many Thunderbirds. Due to domestication, their talents and potential are not good. Most of them can only grow to the peak of the second rank. It is very rare for them to reach the third rank. If you want a higher talent, you have to go to the Thunder Rumbling Mountain and tame wild Thunderbirds. Wild Thunderbirds have high talent. Third rank is the foundation. They can reach the fourth rank or even higher. Lei Bao said. Then you and Lei Zhang's Thunderbirds must have been tamed by yourselves. I remember Lei Zhang's face was full of pain at that time. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Ha! Our Thunderbirds were an accident. At that time, we had just reached the third rank. Because we didn't want to use mounts with no potential, we went to the Thunder Rumbling Mountain to look for wild Thunderbirds. We were lucky and found 2 young Thunderbirds. We brought them back. We didn't expect the consequences to be so serious. Lei Bao said. Don't mention it. Yi Shan, you don't know, but after that, a Thunderbird commander appeared. It was a peak tier 4 Thunderbird commander. The 2 of us chased it down. Fortunately, the Sex Elders appeared in time to repel the Thunderbird commander. Otherwise, the 2 of us would have been dead. Lei Zhang's face was still filled with fear. Night Sorrow, your mount is very handsome. What breed is it? Lei Bao asked. It is a mutated beast. It has the bloodline of the ancient Azure Peng and Black Huan. Lei Bao, I will go back first. You must take good care of the guests. The 3 of them are the honorable guests of our Thunder Rumbling sect. Lei Jun, who was at the front of the group, rode his Thunderbird to the front of Lei Bao and the others. Uncle Lei Jun, don't worry. Today, we will bring them for a feast. Tomorrow, we will take them for a walk around the sect. Lei Bao said. Lei Jun nodded and left first. He had many things to deal with. The Thunder Rumbling sect's disciples were ordered to retreat through special means. Now, he had to report back and understand what was going on. When they arrived at Thunder Rumbling City, Lei Bao arranged for Night Sorrow and the others to stay at the best inn. Then, he brought them to the best restaurant and prepared a table full of dishes. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.